All right, guys, we are live here, Dat Wrasslin podcast, episode 9.
Yo, what's up?
I am here with
Your boy Soul.
Sheepshifter and Soulamazin. No Benjamin Rivers again because he is sick. That is announcement I have to make. Ben Rivers has been in the hospital for like a week or something like that. He has some kind of problem with his stomach. Hopefully he'll try to stop by the stream if he can and give his like little input or whatever in the stream. But yeah, today's stream.
Get better, Ben.
Yeah, get better, Ben.
We're thinking about you, Ben.
Hell yeah. We're all here at DWP. DWP, did I say that right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I just gotta make sure real quick. I don't want to make no mistakes over here. Okay. So, yeah. Today's podcast is basically, we're just really gonna cover Greatest Royal Rumble, then, Raw and SmackDown and NXT, because they're kind of irrelevant to the point, because most of the matches on the shows are basically just kind of matches leading into the Greatest Royal Rumble, so we don't really have to say much about it. I'll just go over Raw and SmackDown NXT real quick, and then we can get to Greatest Royal Rumble. So, starting with Raw, we have, Soulamazin's favorite buddy over here coming out.
The GOAT.
The GOAT. Brock Lesnar shows up, Universal Champion. Shows up in Raw, he gives his like little promo speech. Then Roman Reigns comes out, interrupts. I was thinking there was going to be some kind of action that happens, but no, Roman Reigns just gave his little promo speech and said that he was going to go to the Greatest Royal Rumble and defeat Brock Lesnar, blah, blah, blah. Come back with the Universal title on Raw. And then he basically dropped the mic and left. And welcome to the stream, guys. Welcome, DJ and Daniel. Appreciate you guys stopping by here. So, yeah, that was that segment. Pretty quick. Nothing crazy. The next segment, we have Elias coming out and, Elias does what Elias does. Comes trying to start his song up, Bobby Roode song hits, interrupts Elias. They have a little promo match, I like to call them. It was a decent match, I guess. I mean, Elias defeated Bobby Roode. It was what it was. Nothing crazy. What you guys think about
Squash
that?
match for Elias.
Huh?
Squash match for Elias.
Yeah.
You think so?
Against Rude the Jobber.
I think Bobby Roode's first match on Raw being a loss to Elias is kind of degrading. And he just came off
It is
of a
kind of
US title
degrading.
run.
Because Bobby Roode, like, he's one of my favorites. I don't know what you guys think. I think he's really good.
Oh, my favorites, but I respect him as what he is. I mean, he's a high-level mid-carder. I think he deserves more than his first match on a new brand being a loss to a fellow mid-carder who's never had a title reign.
Exactly. That's
I
true.
don't know, it just didn't make sense. But I'm sure it might be leading into something.
Yeah, I like Bobby Roode too. It's pretty good.
Yeah, Bobby Roode is good. He has a good gimmick and everything, and he did deserve a better match than that on a different brand. But yeah, we can move on. Next segment here, which was a good match, I guess. I mean, so far all these matches are pretty decent. So Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt versus The Ascension. I mean, I guess that was just a little.
The Ascension on TV for the first time in a long time.
I know
that wasn't comedy. So
yeah, that's true. We've seen him in action for the first time. Yeah, since a long time, like you said, Sheep. And I guess I'd give it to them. I mean, it was basically a warm-up match and like a little bit of like a promo, not promo, but debut for them being put on Raw and whatnot. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. That's basically what it is, and it was kind of a, like you said at the beginning of the stream, it's a match building up for Bray and Matt. I wouldn't call it a squash match, because, I mean, the Ascension I like the Ascension. I think they're kind of jobbing right now, but...
Yeah.
They're, like, good jobbers. Like, jobbers that have potential.
Yeah.
Entertaining.
I mean, I don't know if you guys would go to this far, but I think I would prefer Ascension as champions on SmackDown to replace the Bludgeon Brothers.
Bludgeon Brothers, yeah, definitely. They're way more entertaining and better wrestlers.
But, true that. What do you think about that, Sheep? Anything about that?
I guess Ascension's okay. I don't really like Victor all that much of the Ascension.
No? Why?
No.
What is it?
I don't know.
That's the bigger one, right?
No, that's the little one. Connor's the big one. The littler.
Because he has a bigger beard than you, that's why you're pissed off?
Sure. Yeah, I don't know why I don't like him. It's some kind of personal preference. I'm just like, I don't like that dude. I don't know why. I don't really have a logical argument for it.
Yeah. It is what it is. We all have our opinions. Alright, I guess we can move on to the next segment here, which was... Excuse me? Oh yeah, the first ever Sammy and Kevin show. So, Sammy and Kevin got put on Raw, obviously. And I guess they have this... I don't know if this whole thing with Stephanie McMahon is real or not. Because I wanted to bring this up last week when the shakeup happened. Do you think that Stephanie McMahon actually, like, signed their contract for Raw or something? Like, put them on Raw? Do you think that's real, or do you think they made that up? Because you know how Stephanie is out and she's absent because of the arm thing? So, I don't know. You think this...
I think what's going to happen is Kevin and Sammy are going to become part of the Authority.
You think so? What's up, Monster and Daniel? You think they're gonna become part of the Authority?
Triple H, Stephanie, Kevin, and Sammy.
I could see that happening. That would be pretty interesting. The next generation.
They always have somebody. Like before, they had Samoa Joe and Seth Rollins. Triple H had working for him. I think these two are gonna be the next ones.
Yeah, I can see that. I get what you're saying there. I can
they're
definitely
already
see
hated.
That. And you know what?
So
okay,
it's like the perfect role for them.
To extend that. What do you want to call it? Thought. Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. They could be like the security. You know how they used to have J&J security for Seth Rollins? Yeah. They could be like the security. You know what I mean? That could definitely fit well for them. That. So, yeah, I could see that. What
Especially with Bo and Curtis being like angry that, you know, they're doing the little segments where they were trying to get people, trying to join people like Seth and Finn and stuff.
I love those.
And it's all faces that they were trying to join. Like it was like they were trying to become face. Yeah. But they kept getting rejected, and now what if they get pissed off and they just help Kevin and Sammy?
Sure. Yeah, I can see that.
It would make sense.
Definitely makes sense.
I like those little skits of them trying to join the two groups, by the way.
At the same time, though, like, those segments are really entertaining. It would be cool to see them as face.
I agree.
Funny. But they could still be funny and be Hill.
Yeah.
Like the Miz type of Hill.
True. I
think they should definitely keep the Kevin and Sammy show going. That was
yeah, that was pretty decent. I mean, it was pretty good. I mean, they do need more show segments like that on Raw, especially how it's like a long show, you know what I mean? It needs some time for like funny segments and whatnot. But yeah. So, during that show, what was it? Kurt Angle came out as the guest to the show, and they were talking. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were talking about, I don't know what they were saying. I totally forgot what they were saying, but they were boasting something. And Kurt Angle was like, oh, for you guys' first match on Raw, we're going to put you in a tag team match with Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman. And they got upset about that and whatnot. Yeah. But yeah, that's where that happened in that segment. Pretty decent segment. That show, like Sheep said, they should keep that show going. Kevin and Sammy show. It's pretty cool.
I'm sure they will.
So next we have the next segment is Titus Worldwide versus Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. So yeah, we got to see Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre in the tag team match, and honestly, I thought they did pretty well. Like, I was thinking, I was like, is this gonna be a good team, Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre? Like, is it gonna be good or not? And
well, their finishing combo was nice. The Claymore with the zigzag, that was pretty epic, if you ask me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I, like the week before, I was saying that I didn't see it, I didn't understand them being together. But after Drew's promo at the end of the match, now I can see it. When he was talking crap about the guys in the back, like the same way Dolph does.
I kind of told you, just pictured a modern version of Diesel and Shawn Michaels, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's basically
it's him saying that I've always had it, and now I've got somebody to watch my back, and him saying that he's going to run over everybody else.
I think it's partially personal as well, especially with the half of you just collect paychecks thing. He said. I think he was taking shots at some people.
Probably. That's true. Okay, so I want to go back on this thing like I always bring up. Do you think Dolph Ziggler's promos are like open mic promos? Like, to me, I think they would be open mic promos because he's done a lot in the WWE. He's been around for a long time, and he's such a great performer, you know what I mean?
I think there's only maybe 2 or 3 who can just go out there and do whatever.
I think he somewhat sticks to a script.
But he has
can probably change words around here and there. But as long as he sticks
like
to
partially
the subject,
open mic, that's what I mean.
Like, they're not like just go out there and say whatever you want. But he has a little bit of freedom, I think.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't have to read word for word. Like, you can tell he's not just reading off a piece of paper when he talks.
Yeah, true.
Like, there's emotion.
Yeah, but he's not straying from what they want him to say.
No, I don't think he's straying from what they want.
Oh, what? That shit glitched. Alright, so yeah. That match. Decent match. Not bad. I liked it. It was really good. It was better than the last matches on the show. I mean, it was way better than the last matches on the show. Next segment, we got Chad Gable versus Jinder Mahal. Huh?
Street's favorite wrestler, Chad Gable, in a dream match versus Jinder Mahal.
Honestly,
that's how you're supposed to treat it.
Honestly, I thought that this was gonna be a squash match for Jinder Mahal, just because how he's, just because how he's such a hyped up character, and they trying to make him like this beast, fucking hateful character, like everybody hates. Well, he's not. He's really hateful. I mean, people hate him, but like. He held 2 titles, you know what I mean? So I would expect him to go over Chad Gable, but it kind of surprised me that Chad Gable won this.
That was the intention, I think.
I actually called Chad Gable winning.
Yeah, I think they wanted you to not expect it for you to think that Jinder was going to squash him, and they wanted it to be a real underdog type of thing. That's one of the big selling points, especially to kids in the WWE.
I guess so.
Underdog storyline.
I guess
that's the best thing, the inspirational thing. An underdog is always the best. Why Rey Mysterio was so popular.
Yeah, true.
Well, there's hints and stuff that kind of give away what's gonna happen in a match, like Jinder losing last week, and then it being so like over the top, disappointed about it and bitching about it, and then the big conversation between Kurt Angle and Chad Gable before the match, where he's like, "I'm gonna see how you do in singles competition." Da, 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 da. Like, it kind of shows that it's hyping up for Chad Gable to get the win.
Yeah, foreshadowing. A lot of foreshadowing.
Yeah, there's a lot of foreshadowing that kind of gives stuff away. And sometimes they surprise us, and it doesn't happen that way. But most times than not, they kind of self-spoil it if you catch on.
I get what you're saying. So Daniel is saying here, I think Chad and Jason are gonna be back, cause how Chad is in Raw and so is Jason.
I don't think.
Yeah,
so.
but they already said they weren't gonna do that. Kurt Angle already said it. And I mean, unless they just both decide to turn heel and rejoin or something like that, I don't see that.
True.
I don't see the fans reacting to it very well. Like, people aren't going to be into it. I think it'd be a bad move.
It wasn't that popular of a team to begin with.
Yeah, it really wasn't that popular of a team. I agree. I never really cared for them. I still don't care for them.
The only good thing I could see of that, well, I don't even know how good you would think it would be. I guess it's opinionated, but if they were to team up like with Shelton Benjamin as well and Kurt Angle and make like a small faction. And then they could be the ones to like go after, like if the whole faction thing with like the Authority we were just talking about happens, they could go after each other and stuff. And then maybe even have a segment where they have a rivalry with Sanity. You know, you have multiple.
Well, Sanity is on SmackDown, so.
I know. Well, I'm saying like in the future.
Oh yeah, I get what you mean now.
Like in the next shake-up or something.
Yeah. I appreciate you guys stopping by the podcast. Julian, we're not, well, the game is just here for background. We're not, like, really paying attention. It's a podcast, guys. It's just for background. You know what I mean? It's, like, nothing crazy. Just fucking around. But, yeah.
Yeah.
So, next segment, moving on. Which was, I think this was the best part of the show. The Bobby Lashley, Braun Strowman versus Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. I think that was the best part of the show.
It was just it was almost comedic.
Yeah.
Matchup.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, I agree. It was entertaining.
The two biggest, strongest guys in the whole company.
I just have one thing that I'm disappointed about. So, they put Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman. I get this. I get why they did that. Because, like you said, two strongest guys versus, you know, little guys like Sammy. Not really Kevin. I mean, Kevin's not, like, really strong, but he's big. He's a big guy. But, I mean, so here's my problem I have with this. So, they have this whole return with Bobby Lashley, and this is just probably me. How I feel about it, because I was a big Bobby Lashley fan when he used to wrestle back in the day.
I was too.
So they have him return, and I think he only had one solo match. I'm not sure. I don't even remember. If it was probably a squash match. And they have him pairing up with Braun Strowman. They have him pair up.
He faced Elias.
Oh yeah, true. Yep, that's who it was. I knew it was somebody.
Which. If you're done, I have like something to add.
All right,
to
hold
your
on.
Whole point.
Yeah, I'll get to it. So they put Bobby in the match with Braun Strowman to face Kevin and Sammy, and I get why they did that. They want, like, Kurt Angle wanted these two big guys to destroy, you know, Sammy and Kevin. But the thing is, Braun Strowman is, like, everybody loves Braun Strowman. He's a more popular character and wrestler in today's, like, entertainment of WWE. Everybody loves the dude. And I don't know if it was a good idea to put Bobby Lashley in this match, because it seemed throughout the match more people was cheering for Braun, and I get that, than Bobby Lashley. And it kind of disappointed me. Like, Bobby Lashley, dude, he's a great wrestler. He's amazing. And, like, when he was in the ring, I didn't hear, like, a lot of people chanting for him or anything. Like, it was kind of dead, I gotta say. But everybody wanted him to, like, wanted Braun to be in. They're just chanting Braun, Braun, Braun. And when Bobby Lashley did his, like, signature jackhammer type move, like, usually back in the day when he was popular, everybody would be chanting, like, for that and, like, just be like, doing that thing. but it was just dead, and I'm like, wow. I don't know. I just was disappointed in that.
So what I want to add to it, and I think this makes a lot of sense. The way they could have went about this is, instead of Bobby Lashley teaming up with Braun Strowman, because like you said, he just came back. They need to give him a big pop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't put him against somebody who's already like the biggest star.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think what would have really made a lot of sense is, instead of Bobby Lashley, team Braun with Elias. They make much more sense of a team. Mm-hmm. They're both loved. You know what I mean? People cheer for Elias. They love that Walk with Elias shit. Mm-hmm. They make more sense as a team. And Elias isn't a small dude, so it would still make sense for them to go against Kevin and Sammy. I would have put Bobby Roode against Chad Gable, and if they were going to let Bobby Roode lose, anyways, let Chad Gable beat Bobby Roode to get his little pop, and then put Bobby Lashley against Jinder Mahal. If Jinder Mahal's going to lose, let Bobby Lashley be the one to beat him, because people hate Jinder. Yeah. And that's going to give Bobby Lashley a pop, because they're going to cheer like, oh, thank you, you beat Jinder. Yeah. It's fucking awesome. So I think switching those superstars around that way would have made a lot more sense.
Yeah, I get you. But it's WWE. Bad writing all the time these days. There's nothing.
Because like you said, Braun just overshadowed Bobby.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a bad look for him. It would have been such a better look for him if he's the one that beat Jinder. Mm-hmm. And it wouldn't really hurt Jinder, because, I mean, he's a heel. Nobody likes him anyways, so...
True.
I mean, it would been a perfect matchup.
I agree. And you have a good point that you added there. That's what I was trying to say.
That's what I do this for.
Yeah, I agree. I actually agree with everything you said. That would have been better matchmaking, in my opinion. But they may have plans we don't know about, you know? Something big down the road that is all in the works and plans. Yeah, it requires it to have gone down that way.
Alright, so as we got our feelings out on that, they are good wrestlers. So I'm reading what Carlos says here. So, what's up, Carlos? They're good wrestlers, Chad and Jason. But bad characters. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I definitely agree with that, Carlos.
So next we have for the segment. Next segment, Baron Corbin attacks No Way Jose. Okay.
Spoiler of fun, Baron Corbin.
I mean, who cares? I don't care.
No one's allowed to be happy around Baron Corbin.
Yeah, true. I mean, he has the end of days, so. And
he's such a jackass. He just attacks everybody for no reason.
Like, well, my question is,
no even good storyline behind it. Like, he just fucking comes out of nowhere and just.
I think it's because they could do that.
To dance. Like, what are you doing?
It's like kind of like Jinder Mahal. They could do that. They could just have him go out there and beat up on anybody, and people would hate him. It's like what Sheep was saying. He's genuine a hateful person. Like you hate him. Like, everybody hates the dude. Just his look, everything. The way he talks, walks, everything.
Look at the way he talks. Yeah. Look at the way he walks.
They hate the dude so bad. And I get that. I guess just throwing him out there is a thing. And maybe, I don't know, maybe there'll be some kind of rival between these two guys. Who knows? It's a rival that I don't really want to see. I don't really care for, but if it happens, it happens. I mean, what the fuck they're gonna do with No Way Jose anyways, you know what I'm saying?
That's why in my universe mode today that I streamed, I did Baron Corbin versus Rey Mysterio. Because I see, if Rey Mysterio was to come back to the WWE, I see that being a storyline, a rivalry. Like, I see Baron Corbin, like, trying to, like, be a tough guy and bully Rey, and then Rey just beating the shit out of him. Like, in the match. Like, I see, like, Baron Corbin attacking Rey Mysterio backstage like he does. Or even interfering in a match and beating him up. And then they have a match at a pay-per-view and Rey whoops his ass. Like, I could see that being a storyline.
Yeah. I get behind that. My question is, does No way Jose even belong on the main roster.
I think it was too soon.
He didn't make an impression even on NXT. He wasn't. But then neither did Elias. Elias was like nobody cared for Elias on the NXT card.
Honestly,
like,
I did. I thought he was interesting. He just showed up walking around the background with a guitar, and I'm like, it caught my attention every time I seen him. I'm like, what is this guy doing? Like, what is he gonna talk? What is he gonna do? I was interested.
Yeah, I liked him, but he wasn't generally well received by the NXT crowd. Not like he has with the main roster. And I think that, I don't think that that's the case with No Way Jose. I mean, maybe if he like straight up turns heel and is like still partying the way he does, but he's like a straight up asshole heel. I think that might work. Like the juxtaposition.
That'd be kind of like Andrade's gimmick. The like not caring and just partying and bullshit and kind of attitude.
Well, no, it'd be more like Sami Zayn to me, where he still comes off as very cheerful and happy and happy-go-lucky and everything's apart, but he's really just a snake in the grass. I think that would be something worth diving into. I think it's the only route they could really go.
True, I get you.
Yeah, I can see that.
He's not like it's not for the kids don't care, and the crowd doesn't care. Maybe the drunks care, I don't know.
Maybe.
The drunks?
Yeah, the people that are there and they're just hammered from beer and stuff, just wasted.
Like, Congo line,
This guy's amazing. I love this wrestler.
Yeah.
He doesn't even wrestle, but I love him.
I don't see where his fan base is,
Yeah, same. That's what I felt like about Adam Rose. Like, what the fuck? Who even liked the dude?
Well, that was more of like a John Morrison kind of, like, that kind of vibe. And I understood it.
It was terrible.
I didn't really care for it.
It was terrible.
Surprise, surprise. Ron wins snap.
Yep. Alright, so the next segment, which is the co-main event, I guess you can say. It was, I don't know if it was a co-main event really, because it was kind of like
greatest
a
tag
squash
team
match.
in the WWE versus Seth Rollins and Finn Balor.
Yeah. Seth Rollins, Finn Balor versus the Mr. Raj. Obviously, it was a squash match, but I guess it was just to put story to it, I guess, because how you were saying earlier, how the Mr. Raj was looking for a leader, and they talked to Finn Balor, they talked to Seth Rollins, and I guess, I don't know, I guess it made a story. Maybe they were pissed off or whatever. I don't really know what the story is, but I guess that's what they're trying to go for there, is that they were pissed off that they wouldn't join, like they couldn't join them or whatever, and they decided to go out there and have a match with them. Honestly, I'm not gonna say it was a bad match or like a great match. I think it was pretty good. I mean, I don't know
who their new leader is.
Huh?
The new leader of the Mr. Raj, I know who it should be.
Who? Tell us. Come on.
Paul Ellering.
I think you said this before.
Did we discuss this?
I think we did, and that's why it seems so amazing. Paul Ellering, and then they go take on the Authors of Pain and beat him.
Yeah, you definitely said
that.
And then Paul Ellering
blowing up Discord.
Huh?
I said if that happens, I'm gonna be blowing up Discord. Like, guys, we are right.
Yep, Paul Ellering picks up the Mr. Raj, and they go beat Authors of Pain, and Authors of Pain are like, oh man, we should have kept Paul.
That would be great.
You heard it here first, DWP, folks. We know. We got the dirt.
We got the dirt.
For giving away all the spoilers.
Yeah, I mean, we called a lot of stuff recently.
They're gonna take us out if you don't hear from us, guys. It's the man got us.
Yep.
Except for the bust when I predicted all that huge storyline for Dolph Ziggler a few months ago.
Oh yeah.
It was dead wrong.
You were kind of disappointed about that, and I feel you on it.
I was a little upset.
I think we all were. That would have been decent, at least. I think I could have got behind that. All right, next segment. Yeah.
So I was reading. Hold on. I was reading on Bleacher Report that I guess Finn Balor's a babyface now. Was he ever
He's always
a
been
heel?
a babyface. Well, it's always kind of, well, it's always been a babyface. He's never been a heel in WWE. You know, obviously the Bullet Club
Because
stuff
on
and all
Bleacher
that
Report, they were saying the hot tag that he made to Rollins sparked a babyface comeback and allowed Balor to, take the victory.
I think they're in the writing. They meant them as babyfaces. It sparked a comeback for the babyfaces. I think they just worded it wrong.
All right.
Yeah, he's always been a babyface. Yeah. You didn't miss nothing there.
I was gonna say, like, when was he ever a heel? I'm missing something here. What's going on? Someone just... Oh, that was so... Never mind. Alright. So, the next... I kind of missed out on this match, I gotta say. I missed half of it because I had to go out and do shit. But it was a 10 women's tag team match. It was... Who was it? Riot Squad, Bliss, and Nikki James against Jax, Moon, Banks, Bayley, and Natalya. Apparently, it was a DQ, and that's how the Riot Squad, Bliss, and James defeated Jax, Moon, and Banks. I don't know if you guys want to say anything about the match, because I don't really remember what happened in that match. If you guys can, to be honest,
I don't think that I even watched this match. I think I was distracted doing something else.
I have been watching on I guess that was the main event, right?
Yeah.
Oh, where Ronda Rousey came and helped out Natalya after.
Oh yeah. I remember the end of it. I don't think I watched the match, but I remember watching the end.
So,
I think the Ronda and Natalya thing is really awkward. I think we discussed this last podcast. Yeah.
I remember we were talking about it before Sheep's thing got disconnected. How it said there was a rumor for what do you want to call it? God dang it, what's her name now? Ronda Rousey heel turn, because Natalya is gonna supposedly backstab Ronda Rousey, and that'll make a heel turn for Ronda Rousey. In some form of her being like angered and then just, whatever she's gonna do, fucking go through the whole locker room and beat the shit out of fucking the woman or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Yeah, basically. And I mean, that's what they should have done first, is have her as a heel. I mean, I don't know. I would rather see her a heel in the company than a face.
Me too, and it's gonna happen eventually.
Alright. So, that was the last segment. That wraps up the Raw show. I mean, it was a pretty decent match, I guess. I don't know, didn't really watch it all. I don't know, you guys said you guys didn't really watch it all, but it is what it is. I guess we can move on to SmackDown now. We have in SmackDown, the first segment here is Big Cass invades Miz TV. You guys want to talk about that? What do you think about that?
It was a little bit awkward, but Big Cass definitely, while he was injured, has done some promo practice or something.
Yeah,
because I was really, really surprised at how well Cass delivered this promo compared to previously. I don't think he needs Enzo anymore to talk for him, for sure. And
I think he definitely practiced it, because I was impressed.
As much as I hated him before, I think I might start kind of liking what he's putting down if he keeps it up with that on the path he's going. Yeah. That's my thoughts.
So, yeah.
Especially the way he ended it. Like, that was a great ending. Like the sarcastic little yes, yes, and just throwing the mic down.
Yeah. That's true. I agree.
But I think also from this, like, it was a pretty good promo because it made the Miz like freak out because he thought Cass was gonna attack him or something. But then when they realized, you know, hey, we're on the same page, I think that Cass might be the Miz's next bodyguard type thing. You know, the Miz always has somebody.
This is what we were talking about last week and on the podcast. Last week in podcast, we were like, oh, we think it's gonna be Big Cass because how, you know, the whole thing about these two guys is that they hate Daniel Bryan and they want to like beat the shit up of Daniel Bryan. And I think that's what's gonna happen. Big Cass is gonna be like a bodyguard for the Miz, and it's gonna be interesting, honestly, because have we really ever seen the Miz have like a tall, huge bodyguard or something? Like most of his side people were like his size, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're more like clever than strong.
Yeah. So it'll be definitely interesting to see with these two guys. Big Cass. I mean, will I like Big Cass? No, I don't care if he's with the Miz because I still prefer the Miz definitely over Big Cass.
Well, what I think they should do is, I mean, especially if the relationship's still intact, have him work with Carmella. They're together, aren't they? Yeah, they're a thing.
No, they broke up a long time ago.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, my girlfriend keeps me informed on that side of it.
Oh, see, I don't know that well on that side. So I mean, that would have been a natural.
She knows this stuff. She tells me.
Of course, your girlfriend knows your stuff.
Yeah, she knows all the relationship stuff.
Well, that way we stay informed, so it's good for us. Good
like
for
she showed me Nikki Bella's Instagram post about her breaking up with John Cena. That's how I found out.
So yeah.
That's how I knew it was real.
So yeah.
That's good.
So yeah.
So yeah,
Big Cass, I was impressed. Nothing, no bad things to say about Big Cass. Very surprising.
Yeah, it was surprising, and the promo was good, obviously. So like you were saying, Big Cass did a good job with the promo, and obviously the Miz, always a good promo from the Miz.
He knew if he was going out there with the Miz. Maybe what if the Miz like low-key wrote that for him? Like what if the Miz worked with him on it? Since they're kind of like working together now, they might have behind the scenes. Miz could have helped him.
Probably. Who knows?
I mean, it makes sense. He all of a sudden has a really good promo, and it happens to be with the Miz. The Miz is like, you're not gonna make me look bad. Like you're gonna go out there and you're gonna fucking
imagine that.
You're gonna do good. You're gonna do good.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So next segment, Becky Lynch and Asuka versus the Iconics. I mean, I like the Iconics. I don't know what you guys think. I love their promos. The promos are pretty fun.
I don't know, this week I felt the way Sheep felt last week. I felt like Peyton Royce was a little cringy this time.
Think so?
The mocking Charlotte was hilarious, but this time it was a little cringy.
But that's like you were saying last week. That's what their thing is. They're like cringy and awkward and whatnot. That's what their whole gimmick is try to be corny and whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. But it just, for me personally, it was more cringy than funny this time. Like, the Charlotte thing made me laugh. This one made me be like, alright. Now you're just trying too hard.
I guess. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, if it was funny to you, if you enjoyed it, you enjoyed it. It's your personal preference how you took it.
They were mocking Becky Lynch.
Entertaining to me this time.
I don't actually remember what they said.
I guess it's alright.
So, I don't remember what they said, but I know they were mocking Becky Lynch and whatnot. But, yeah, I thought the match was pretty good, too. I don't know what you guys thought about the match. The Iconics winning via pinfall.
Tag team match, I guess.
I mean, I would have thought that Asuka and Becky would have got it, but I guess to have them kind of go over, since apparently they're gonna be the next in line for the title, women's title. Apparently, that's how it's looking like.
They have a big following amongst, I guess, the males or whatever, the young guys or something. I don't know. I don't think they're particularly any better looking than, you know, Becky Lynch or anybody else, but whatever.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I always gotta bring up the sexual appearance side to this.
Mm-hmm. Got to. Somebody's got to.
I personally don't find Billie Kay attractive much at all. I think Peyton Royce is really pretty, but Billie Kay's like, eh.
Well, have you noticed that, like, when they announce themselves, like, the crowd doesn't cheer as loud for Billie Kay?
Yeah, and that's probably why.
I always does. I'm like, she's got to be, like, self-conscious about that. Like, every time they're cheering for her better, or for the other one more. And, hey guys, I'm here too. I think Peyton Royce
is better on the mic too. She's the funny one.
Yeah.
But they're not bad, and they're like a fresh part of the women's division. They're different. But I feel like, as far as long-term goes, I feel like I'm going to get bored and annoyed by them sooner than later. Like, I don't see me like being excited for them for like years. Like, I feel like within like the end of this year, I'm gonna be like, okay, it's annoying now. They need to change. Like, once they come out and do their little thing, making fun of each individual woman like one time each, then after that, it's gonna be like, all right, we get it.
Yeah.
Like, now you're just acting childish. It's just annoying.
I get you.
But for right now, it's fresh and it's funny.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they're gonna keep doing that. They'll probably switch it up to something else. Who knows? But the next segment we got here.
I don't even want to talk about this trash. This was just go ahead, announce it.
Yeah. So Jimmy Uso versus Rowan. Eric Rowan, not Roman Reigns. So Jimmy Uso versus Eric Rowan.
Eric Rowan Reigns.
And okay, so before we get into the match, we had like a little promo in the back with the Usos and what's her name, Naomi. The Uso, was it Jimmy? Is Jimmy with Naomi? Which one is it? Cause I don't know. Which one? Huh?
Oh, Naomi and Jimmy, yeah.
Okay, so Jimmy was saying, "Oh, please don't come out to this match. You know, I got it. I can handle it. Please don't come out. Let me do it." And she was like, "Okay." And she was saying, "I had a bad feeling though about this match." And it's like, "I don't want this to happen or whatever. I don't know." But yeah, they had like this little agreement in the back before they started the match. Jimmy got out there and started fighting Rowan, and the match was, you know, a match, and I guess Bludgeon Brothers was, you know, basically taking advantage a little bit of the match, and then all we hear is Naomi's song starts up, and she comes out, does her little dancing moves and whatnot, and that distracts the Bludgeon Brothers, and Jey Uso hits one of the Bludgeon Brothers with a super kick, and the other Bludgeon Brother comes over, the one that was in the match. He's like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And that he got distracted, and that led to Jimmy, you know, with the pinfall. And like you said, I can't really say it's a good match at all. It was, you know, kind of terrible to have them win that way. And I don't really like what they're going with this, having Naomi come out all the time just so they can get the win. Like, they don't need to step that low. They're an amazing tag team.
The reason this made me so upset is that, first of all, you've already had the Bludgeon Brothers beating the shit out of the New Day and the Usos for the past few weeks. like to the point where they're injured and they're not able to appear, and they're appearing but they can't perform, and like, come on. And then now you make it seem and I don't really want to jump ahead, but like you said, you're showing that, oh, the only way the Usos can win is Naomi comes out and distracts them.
Yeah.
Like, that's degrading for a tag team like the Usos.
Exactly.
Like, I don't understand why you have to lower them to that extent.
Yep, I agree.
Like, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that was pretty crappy, and the whole angle, this whole story was kind of...
Like, the Bludgeon Brothers should be winning by distractions.
Yep.
If anything.
True. Or dirty. Winning dirty, like...
They're dirty, yeah.
Yeah. They're more... I mean, I guess... Like, the Usos are dirty, but they're dirty to an extent. And that's within, you know, the limitations of what they would go for. They wouldn't do stuff like, you know... Sami and Zayn, they wouldn't be doing stuff like Sami and Zayn to a point. They only do dirty moves if it gets them, not like a dirty cheap pin or anything, like, but they would do dirty things to like, put them ahead more. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Not to like get a cheap win, to get a cheap victory or whatever. I mean, they're not the kind of people that throw people outside and fucking smash them through the fucking tables or anything like that, or like whatever. Little distractions here and there, and little crazy teamwork. That's all it takes for them. They don't have to do stupid shit. They don't have to have Naomi come out and distract and have them gain the win that way. It's dumb. I don't like it.
I've started to like the Usos a lot, and like, I think they're actually really cool, like, even outside of the ring. Like, in real life, they're cool. Like, they do the cool little things, like they did the thing, because Naomi lives in Orlando, which is like 3 hours from me. And they did a thing where a fan got to go, like, won the thing and got to go to Disney with them. Or Universal, I think it was Universal. And, like, actually hang out with them for the day and go on rides and just chill with them for the day. Like, they do, like, doing stuff like that makes me really respect you, because it shows that you're very humble and you're not just there for the money, and you do love the fans. And I love when they do that kind of stuff outside of the company. I think it's awesome. And then they do Make-A-Wish and stuff. Like, they're really cool people.
I think a lot of wrestlers do stuff like that, but it's just not shown on TV. There's a lot of things wrestlers do in the back that we don't know about. And I get what you're saying, that you like that they show that on TV. And I get that. I get what you're saying from that, but I can't. We don't know for a fact that, you know, Eric Rowan and the other dude are out there doing, you know, Make-A-Wishes and shit. I mean, they could be the nicest guys and they're playing shitty roles. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, we discussed this about Baron Corbin. He could be the most amazing guy, best performer, but he's just given a shitty gimmick. I mean, so we can't really blame it on that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. I know what you mean.
I was kind of I wasn't referring all that to what's going on between the Usos and the Bludgeon Brothers. I was kind of going off topic.
Yeah.
I wasn't saying, like, I'm disappointed that the Bludgeon Brothers beat them because of that.
Yeah, I get I know what you mean.
Kind of, because, like you said, they could be doing the same stuff outside of the ring, and we just don't see it.
You got anything to touch on this, Sheep?
Pretty much the same exact thing you guys said. I don't really have any different thoughts or opinions. You pretty much covered it all.
Alright. I guess we can move on to the next segment of SmackDown, which obviously is kind of relevant, I guess. I mean, not really. I mean, it brings up to Backlash, right? They have this contract signing for Charlotte's rematch with Carmella, and they were sitting there at the table, and, you know, Carmella loves to boast and does her thing. Carmella is like one of my favorites in the Diva division for SmackDown. and we brought it up before. I think she's right next to Alexa Bliss on her kind of gimmick kind of thing. It's just Alexa has a different look and appeal to her than Carmella. Carmella's more of a gangsta type, but their gimmicks are pretty similar. You know, they're whiny, they're bitchy, they try taking cheap shots and whatnot. You know, they're good heels as a Divas division. And so yeah, the contract.
Both sides of the same coin.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So the contract signing, she was boasting, Carmella was boasting and all this and that when they were signing the papers. Charlotte was on the other side of the table, of course, and I forgot what Carmella did. I think she showed the title to Charlotte, like shoved it in her face and did something, and then I don't know. Charlotte signed the paper. She was done. She puts the pen down or whatever, and I guess didn't she like smack Carmella's head onto the table and flip the table or something like that?
Yeah, flip the table over onto her.
Yeah, she flipped the table onto Carmella and then just left. She did this hair whip thing, like she put her hair up. That I thought that was a funny touch to it. She like that with her hair. I can't really explain how she did it, but she did a hair flip and sass to it. She had some sass, and I was like, wow. And yeah.
Oh yeah, and she did the back thing like a dog or a cat, you know, scooping dirt on somebody. She did that too.
Yeah. She had sass. She has sass in her. And
I remember seeing that.
And it was pretty good. It was a pretty good promo contract signing type thing. I mean, I can't say I didn't like it. I mean, as for the rival, I think this is going to be an interesting rival to see.
I agree.
So yeah.
What's next?
Moving on to the second to last segment here. Randy Orton versus Shelton Benjamin. This was kind of unexpected for me too. I don't know, maybe you guys expected it, but I didn't. I didn't think Benjamin would win this match. Just cause, I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do with Shelton Benjamin now. What do you guys think they're gonna do with Shelton Benjamin?
He's not gonna get that big of a push because I mean, look how quickly he was eliminated in the Royal or the Rumble. I'm sorry, I skipped ahead a little bit there, but yeah, I mean, he just wasn't. I think it was just like a temporary thing, just to kind of throw Randy Orton down just a little bit. And I don't think it was the beginning of a push for Shelton Benjamin. At least I kind of hope. I don't think there's too many other people right now that I think need it in SmackDown.
Yeah, true. I feel you.
I don't know. They might could be giving him a little bit of a push because I don't see that he signed a very big contract with the WWE. I think it was probably a temporary thing to replace Jason Jordan. I don't know if he's gonna be around for very long. So it would be kind of a respect thing to give him a little bit of a push. It was a short-term deal kind of thing.
Possibly.
I see it more as that.
The input I have here.
There's no point in him staying around and just jobbing. I mean, maybe he will, but I don't know. I think I'm just confused.
I agree.
I don't really know.
No, I agree. The reason why I'm agreeing is because I used to be a fan of Shelton Benjamin back in the day when he used to wrestle.
Yeah, me too.
And having him come back, I thought would be interesting. I thought he was gonna have a solo career, but they put him with the new American Alpha, and I'm like, oh, God, this is gonna be stupid and boring. So I'm hoping for at least some kind of push. It doesn't have to be like a major title run or anything, just maybe a couple weeks and that's it. I mean, he does deserve it. So I don't know.
Yeah. I called Randy Orton coming out when Jeff Hardy first came out and he limped the first time. I was like, he's not gonna wrestle. Randy Orton's coming out. Like, I called it like right then, because I was like, they're making it so obvious that he's limping. Like, he's obviously not gonna be in the match. So I like called it out loud during the show.
So
it only makes sense because it's Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy for the title, isn't it? Already booked. So it made sense for it to be Randy Orton to come out, but like you said, for Shelton Benjamin to win, what I see happening now is that they're gonna make it most likely a triple threat match at Backlash for the United States title, and maybe then Shelton Benjamin will win that match as well and have a short run. Because I'm still kind of confused with what's going on. I don't understand. I mean, I understand them having Jeff Hardy go to SmackDown, win the United States title. You know, he had never won it before. I love it. I think he deserved it. But the timing was kind of weird because with the whole Woken Matt Hardy thing happening, and I thought Jeff Hardy was going to be... Maybe this is a way to give Shelton Benjamin a little bit of a push, and maybe Jeff will end up back on Raw as Brother Nero. Because they're still, like... running into each other backstage and stuff.
That's true.
Like that video I posted in Discord to you guys.
Yeah.
So they're still keeping that going. They're trying to show like, hey, we didn't forget about this.
Yeah.
So it's still alive.
It's just a moment. It's just a moment. It'll happen. It might not happen in a few weeks. It might not happen soon, but it'll get there.
Yeah. But I definitely see this becoming a triple threat now. I mean, it has to. He beat the #1 contender, so...
I get you. I get what you're saying. What about you, Sheep? You get what he's saying? You picking up what he's putting down? I think Sheep muted his mic. Sheep?
Yeah, sorry, I was coming back from the other room. I wasn't always the biggest fan of Shelton Benjamin, but I do agree. He does kind of deserve it. I mean, why come back for nothing? You know, just a job.
Yeah.
And he could, work for another promotion or anything else. But I completely agree with what Saul says.
So, moving on to the main event here on SmackDown, AJ Styles in the Club versus Shinsuke Nakamura, Rusev, and Aiden English. So yeah, we have the club, we have the Bullet Club, basically, back on SmackDown. A little bit of reunion for the Bullet Club and AJ Styles, which I appreciated. I mean, even back when, the AJ's heel thing about beating up John Cena, that was pretty funny. I enjoyed that. Do you think that... I had something in my head. Do you think the club will turn heel? Like, not like soon or anything.
I think they should.
But do you think that having them as a heel would be better?
I think so.
With AJ?
They're going to wait until the Shinsuke feud is settled first.
Yeah, that's what I said. Not soon. I'm not saying soon, but in the future. If they're staying on SmackDown.
I just think Luke and Carl make much better heels, and AJ can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So I think it would make more sense.
I liked it when they were
doing
heels.
the doctor segments, when they were fighting the New Day and stuff, and they had injured Big E, and he had something with his nuts, and they had his nuts in a jar and stuff. That was hilarious stuff.
Yeah, that was funny. I remember that. That was hilarious shit right there.
Yeah, I think they should turn heel eventually.
I think they will.
Or at least they could give them a good face push as well. It's all in the writing.
Yeah, true. You guys, what do you guys think about Shinsuke's new song? I mean, it's not really new. They added lyrics to it. They added China lyrics.
They can't let the crowd isn't able to do the thing anymore.
That's why they changed it. That's why Shinsuke changed it.
I think they want him to get booed.
Exactly.
I think he made it. This theme song's all about me.
Yeah.
It's in his language. I don't care about you.
I don't know.
I
don't know if you guys. I don't know if you guys seen the article.
They don't want the kids cheering for him and shit.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense.
They want people to buy into the heel turn.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense.
There was
and it's
an
kind of like a hip hop rock
it.
type song, so it's like hardcore. You know what I mean? In a way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not heavy metal, but it's like rock mixed with rap. So
yeah,
it kind of makes sense. It fits. I'm just glad they didn't change like the background music.
Oh yeah.
Because that
like change it entirely to something.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was
I think it fits.
A thing about it, article about it. Apparently, on the article, the reason for the thing for the song change is what you were saying. It was correct about not having the crowd to be able to cheer to go along with the song, like da 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 da. They were saying that they wanted the crowd to not be able to do that, so having like some lyrics and changing it up a bit, they're not really able to do it anymore, and so it buys the crowd into hating the song and hating his entrance now. I mean, yeah, they'll probably still do the whole Shinsuke thing, like come on and whatnot like that, and everything that he does, the people will still do it, but there's much. That
reminds me, this is a little bit off subject, but it's really fast. Remember how we were talking about the other night or last week about how people still do all the stupid chants from back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about how they still do the Sheamus one.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed earlier today that the "You Look Stupid" chant is actually in this game. The crowd chants it.
Yeah, it is. It is in this game.
I just laughed when I heard it. I was like, really? They put it in the game?
Yep.
In 2017, they put it in the game.
Mm-hmm. They did. There's a lot that they put in the game. But yeah, the match was good. I enjoyed the match. It was pretty good. I mean, can't say anything bad about it.
It was good, but it's Shinsuke, Rusev, and Aiden English are a very odd team.
Yeah.
To go against the club. Like,
I agree.
Like, I feel like Rusev is a whole different kind of character. He's like the Braun Strowman of SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's supposed to be a heel, but people adore him.
Yep, I agree totally.
And
Carlos says, I think they will come back his original song and turn him as a face. I don't think they'll do it anytime soon. I think they'll keep him as the heel until this rival is done with AJ. I mean, he's still the main point of his heel is obviously the low blow, because he's been doing it all the time now. So Shinsuke his name should be turned to low blow Shinsuke Nakamura, because that's what he's been doing recently. It's just a bunch of low blows. He even did it in this match, and I mean, I get it. It's aggressive. He's aggravated, and
I get it because AJ is the baby face, and it's highly disrespectful. So every time he does it, it's just increasing the heel turn more and more and more and more.
Well, then it's become almost like an RKO type thing, low blow out of nowhere. Where's it gonna? How's he gonna, manage to do it?
Like, you're just waiting for it to happen now.
True. I guess we can move on to the greatest Royal Rumble, since it's the greatest Rumble of them all. We did spend like almost an hour talking about the two shows, and I don't think that was bad. We flew over it.
I think that's good. I think we have a whole hour to talk about this now.
Now, greatest Royal Rumble. This was taking place in Saudi Arabia, first time ever. And Sheep, if you want to put in what you said to me earlier about the whole contract deal that they signed with WWE, you want to put that in?
Oh, yeah. It's apparently a 10-year type deal, and they're going to be... they signed a 10-year contract. Yeah, and the whole event was funded entirely by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And from what I've read, it was millions of dollars. And that even the women wrestlers who weren't in the show were paid a very large sum of money for missing it.
Oh, wow.
So, I think they tried to alleviate some of that potential controversy. But, at the same time, you don't just go to another country and tell them how to do shit.
Mm-hmm.
Or I view it, I mean, as dorky as going to sound, kind of like Star Trek or whatever, that Prime Directive, you know? You can go to a planet, but you blend in, and you don't try to change their culture or their ways or their beliefs.
Triple H sent a tweet basically saying that, you know, while the WWE has been encouraging the women's revolution, that you don't change things by avoiding them, were his words. And he said that we respect their culture and so on and so forth. I don't remember the whole tweet word for word. It was pretty long, but those are basically along the lines of what he said. It was, you know, you don't change something by avoiding it. It's like, that was kind of like telling people, you know, just because they don't believe in what we believe in, we're not gonna avoid working with them or doing a show there. You know what I mean? We're gonna respect how they feel, how they do things. Which I think it made sense, and I think it was a very professional tweet for Triple H to put out.
I get you. I know what you're coming from. But honestly, I gotta say something. For the show opener, alright. John Cena and Triple H for the show opener. What greatest to open a show at a foreign country than the two biggest superstars, you know, of WWE? We got Triple H and John Cena. Now,
yeah, and I knew these guys were going to go out there and put on a show.
Yeah. Here's something funny. I think Triple H wanted to be in this show because, I think you said it before, is because, you know, how Triple H, it's all about him. You know, he has to be in an event that's huge. Like this whole thing with Ronda Rousey, he just had to be in it. He likes the attention, you know what I'm saying? He needs the attention, is basically. And I get that. He's kind of an asshole, though, I just gotta say. I mean, I don't know if you guys could tell, but I was kind of exaggerating about the whole show opener thing with these two guys. I think they should have had the show opener for two upcoming wrestlers and make it a little bit bigger of a show opener.
No, here's the reason they did the right thing. Is because John Cena and Triple H are probably two of the most recognizable stars to the Saudi Arabians, and when they view John Cena and Triple H, they don't look at it like us. They don't see John Cena as
those people fucking love John Cena.
They love John Cena because he's famous. He's a Western celebrity, and he's God to them. Not God to them, but he's big.
They went insane for him.
Yeah, and you'll notice that, like, even like Sheamus, there wasn't the "you look stupid" chants, because they don't. The only chant that really carried over into this event was "You suck" for Kurt Angle.
And yes.
It hardly even carried over. It wasn't nearly as loud as it would be in a tiny arena.
It wasn't as much, but it was there.
Well, we also have to remember the fact that it's foreign, so most of these people can't really speak good English.
And that's exactly why John Cena and Triple H was the exact right way to start off the show.
Yeah, because they're the most recognizable by face.
And it draws the people who don't really care about wrestling in from the beginning, because they're like, oh, there's somebody that I know, maybe this is interesting. And then they go
I guess I understand what you're coming from with that point of view, but then they could have picked any huge recognizable wrestlers to be in the show as well. It doesn't have to be John Cena and Triple H. It could have.
Yes, it does. Maybe not Triple H, but John Cena for sure.
It has to be John Cena.
You didn't let me finish.
It has to be John Cena.
You didn't let me finish. Yeah. I'm like, I was gonna say maybe have John Cena in it, but they could have made it like a 4-way match with some other bigger stars. Like maybe, I don't know what it is. We'll get to it a little bit later about the whole contract signings now with the older superstars. I know I kind of talked to this with you, Sheep. Why can't they get somebody else like The Rock or Stone Cold or somebody old and famous, not old, but, you know, older wrestler and that was real famous back in the day and a lot of people know of, you know what I'm saying? So, maybe something like that have like a little bit bigger of a show opener than just a one-on-one I mean, I can't say I didn't like the match, and I can't say it wasn't entertaining, but as for like the first ever ordeal about it, they could have made the show opener a little bit better, more entertaining.
There was a bit of storyline behind it as well. I mean, it was only the third time they've ever faced, and they had a win apiece before.
I understand that. But does Saudi Arabia know that? Do they know that? I don't think they know that.
That didn't matter. That's what I'm saying. There's not that many big stars that cross the threshold.
It wasn't a storyline match. It was guys are
I know it wasn't. That's why I was bringing it up. That's why I was bringing it up. Like, would they even know that?
They're not going to get The Rock. You know,
I know. I wasn't saying specifically The Rock, but I was just saying like a major superstar, like wrestler superstar.
There's not that many that are that high on the totem pole as John Cena and Triple H. You can name 3 that are even capable of still wrestling or putting on that
great
show.
Performance. Like, they put on a good match. A lot of the guys on Triple H and John Cena's caliber as far as popularity are too hurt, too old. Like Undertaker, he couldn't.
You already tried to make that excuse for the John Cena Undertaker thing, and we can say that
or
even
Stone Cold. You know, you might really want to see
for
Stone
Saudi
Cold
Arabia was a lot better than the John Cena.
But about all that Stone Cold,
we got to think those guys aren't active in the ring. They're not active.
I know, but here's another thing if we want to bring up to this.
These 2 guys are in peak condition.
Let's bring another thing up to this.
Stamina.
Let's bring another thing up. The whole thing with Triple H, his performance is an amazing performance. Like, he has like crazy moves that he does. I don't know if you heard it. It's slow. It's picking its move and target. So it didn't have to be a full-blown crazy, like spectacular kind of fucking thing, like AJ Styles kind of thing or something. I mean, they know it was going to be a slow match because it's, like you said, it's a cerebral assassin. So they could have like spiced it up more, made it like a 4-way or a triple threat or something crazy, like a crazy thing, but not like crazy wise of like performance wise, like fucking jumping off the top ropes and doing like cruiserweight classics type shit. That's not what I was talking about. Like, every time you guys hear me say I want to see something better with older superstars, you think I want to see crazy ass moves or something, and that's not what I mean.
I agree with the way I understand where you're coming from, but what I'm saying is maybe you keep saying, oh, they could have done this, they could have done that. Maybe they couldn't have. Maybe The Rock can't perform because he's under contracts with movies that don't allow him to perform. Stone Cold has declared that he doesn't want to perform in the ring. He has no interest.
I get that as well.
And Undertaker, like I keep saying, I don't think he's built or has the stamina to put on that long and that physical of a match. And who else is there?
The GRR match was better, but I think he needed to get that in the ring, that ring rest off at WrestleMania, to even kind of put in more time like he did at the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
He did. It was more athletic and more involved, I think. But then there weren't as many botches. That was for sure.
It was easier to perform with Rusev than it was, but John Cena. But we'll talk about that when we get
definitely.
to it. I'm just saying, like, what other high caliber star that would be recognizable by Saudi Arabia for an opener can you think of that could have been there in place?
Yeah, there's nobody. There's nobody else
active.
Brock Lesnar, but that would have been.
He was already in the main event too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that.
There's, like you said, Shawn Michaels, but he's old and
he turned it down.
Too.
No, he said no.
He ain't doing that shit.
And he's one of the only wrestlers who ever retired and stayed retired.
Yeah, because
he has never wrestled since he retired.
His body's fucked up, maybe even more than Triple H, or more than Undertaker.
All right, I guess we can move on.
There's really nobody else that could have taken that role.
Yeah, I don't see who they could have thrown and made it a 4-way and that been more appealing to.
Plus, it was a face versus a heel. Yeah, maybe Saudi Arabia doesn't know that either, but
I would have said CM Punk or Big Show or something, or Kane or or
Big
something
Show
along the lines.
For whatever reason,
Batista,
I don't know why Big Show didn't show up at all.
That's the thing I wanted to go over later on in the show, is all these people that do want to wrestle and don't mind wrestling, but why can't they get them on the show? Is what I'm saying.
Batista's going to want more money probably than they want to pay.
I think
also, he's a similar situation to The Rock now. Yeah, let's go to the next match and we'll cover that stuff at the end.
Yeah. So the next segment, which was stupid, I don't really care for, we can breeze right through it. I thought this was going to be on a kickoff show. The Cruiserweight Championship match, Cedric Alexander versus Kalisto. Don't give a shit about it. Alexander won, defeated Kalisto. Alright, good, cool. No one gives a shit. Alright, after that...
So we don't get our opinions on this one?
No, it wasn't that bad. There was a good move. The Spanish Fly from the top.
I think it was a really good match.
Here we go.
There were good parts.
Says to the guys that don't never watch 205 Live, shut up. Who you from?
205 Live is the type of show that, yeah, it may be boring and dragged out, but when they do matches like these at pay-per-views, they actually perform really good because they're trying. It's almost like being a collegiate athlete. Like, they're out there trying to get recognized. They want people to tune into 205 Live and watch them. So they're going to go out there and they're going to give their all when they get this pay-per-view spotlight. So obviously they're going to perform really good. And I think that both of these guys are awesome wrestlers. I miss... This is part of the reason why I miss Rey Mysterio so much. I miss seeing this every week. The high flying and the...
Yeah, I get it.
Action. I miss seeing it every week, but I miss seeing it on a bigger scale.
But that's WWE's fault for separating that from the brands. That's why we don't see that shit.
When Rey Mysterio was on the main roster, and we've seen this shit every week. And I think even recently, I mean, they have Sin Cara, Kalisto on the main event sometimes. They had Enzo obviously was on Raw, and Akira Tozawa, if that's how you pronounce his name,
yeah,
has been appeared on Raw. And technically, the 205 Live stars are scheduled as Raw.
Yeah, they are
superstars.
And they used to put them on the show on Raw every freaking week, but now they only appear like a couple times a week. It's like, I don't know what they're doing with the 205.
The only reason I don't watch 205 Live and I'm not interested in it that much isn't because of the wrestling. I mean, they're good wrestlers. A lot of them are.
Same.
It's just so boring. Like this, you can't. Like, I'm not one of those hardcore indie fans that watches like ICW and that shit that no one ever heard of. Like, oh, but these guys can wrestle. Like, I'm not that hardcore into it. Like, you have to have some decent storylines for me to stick through it and watch it. Like, it's entertainment. It's a TV show.
You said decent storylines? What are you doing watching WWE?
I know,
at least decent. But what I'm saying is, watching the WWE is like watching any other television show to me. It's like watching freaking Netflix. Like, it's just a show.
And that's not how it used to be, and that's what makes it fucking terrible these days. Is because it's all about entertainment. I think we have different point of views on I think we have different point of views on wrestling. I was into...
I think you're taking me
because it was amazing. It wasn't all about entertainment. It wasn't all about story.
I think you're taking me too literally. I think you're taking it out of context. You're taking me too literally. Because I'm not saying that it's all about the entertainment. It's all about...
I get what you're saying. That they should have some story to it. I know.
You need to have both. Like, you can have a great build-up, a great storyline, funny, entertaining, and then the match sucks. And it's like, what was the point if these guys can't wrestle? I'm not saying that the entertainment side is more important than the wrestling at all. I'm just saying you need to have a healthy mix of both to put on a good show, to be entertaining. That's the whole point. That's why it's World Wrestling Entertainment. And you watch any other promotion because you think that the superstars are good wrestlers, like, you don't even know superstars from other promotions. You just watch WWE. Like, we were just talking about how You know, every other podcast we talk shit about Big Cass. We call him Big Ass. Now he came out and had a good promo, and now we're like, oh, now maybe he's gonna be good, because you have to be good on the mic too to be entertaining. It don't matter.
And you can also see that how quickly even we turned around just with one good promo.
Exactly.
How quickly anybody that we just hate could just turn it all around.
So I don't know what you guys talking about. I mean, I can't say it wasn't a good promo.
I can see him developing into something. I'm not saying I don't. I just now he's my favorite wrestler now, or that I even am gonna like him over somebody else. But I can see now that he's got potential.
I'm just gonna say we're doing a lot on this topic.
Hold on, all right, let me say this one last thing. Let me say this one last thing, and then we'll move on. Do you see Baron Corbin with his current state of in-ring performance, but add on Daniel Bryan's background and like his persona, his personality, his gimmick, his character? Add that on with Baron Corbin's in-ring performance, and do you think that he would be as successful as Daniel Bryan himself is right now?
I think anybody could be successful if WWE ran the show like other promotions.
So if Daniel Bryan wrestled the way that Baron Corbin does, you think he would still be as big as he is right now?
See, that's
or vice versa, or vice versa.
So you're saying keep the appearance, keep the gimmick, but just different wrestle performance. The thing is, it would be kind of impossible for
Daniel Bryan is he's amazing in the ring, and he has a wonderful personality and gimmick.
Yeah,
that's what makes him great, because he has both. That's the point I'm trying to make, is you have to have both. Like, no one gives a shit how good you are in the ring if you never talk.
That's WWE. That's WWE fans. You're watching WWE for the entertainment, like I said.
That's just WWE though.
Yeah, I think it's just WWE, because if you go to other promotions like Ring of Honor or TNA, you know, they don't have a lot of promos on that show, and to say something like that.
Yes, they do. TNA is basically the same thing as WWE.
Kinda, and to extent,
it's just a lower scale.
To extent.
And even New Japan and all that, they have their story.
Even Ring of Honor and New Japan.
Yeah, they have their story, but it's not major or big.
Yeah, it is. I've been watching a lot. A lot of recap and highlight videos. I've actually been watching like full episodes of Ring of Honor here for the past few weeks. They do the same exact shit that WWE does.
They do. They really do. And sometimes it's even cringy.
On Ring of Honor 2 weeks ago, where they have one guy who's he's supposed to be like a pastor, like a church pastor, and he does like this segment where he talks to you about stuff like in a churchy kind of way, and it's like a funny like churchy gimmick type thing. Like, it's super corny. Like, they do the same corny bullshit that WWE does. I don't know why people are so like in their feelings about the WWE. Oh, they don't wrestle anymore. They do the same shit in every other promotion. It's entertaining.
It's not to extent.
It's not collegiate wrestling. Like,
you don't watch. You
but here's the reason why WWE has to do more
enough, or TNA enough to understand that. Yes, TNA is trying to compete against. I can't say trying to compete, but they're trying to be similar, because if they're actually trying to compete, it's not going to happen. They know it's not going to happen. They knew it for the longest time, that they'll never be on the same scale as WWE. So they're not trying to be like a competition. They're trying to be similar in a way. That's what I'm saying, to an extent. They're not trying to copy everything WWE is just to try to get onto the same bases. The people that like TNA, Ring of Honor, and New Japan Wrestling, they're the fans of that particular show. You don't see a lot of those TNA fans being on WWE. I mean, there is wrestling fans out there that would go to all these shows and watch them.
It's all about money.
Yes, that is true.
WWE has to appeal to a much larger audience than TNA does to be sustainable. To pay John Cena and to pay Brock Lesnar and to pay all these big names, they have to make enough money. And to make enough money, they have to do stupid-ass storylines. Of course,
a lot of things is about money.
Decisions so that they can appeal to moms and so they can appeal to rednecks.
We are really off topic and dwelling around here.
Yeah. They have to appeal
Let's touch back on this afterwards. Because we can go on. I can go on about this for hours.
Yeah.
So let's... Let's just agree to disagree and move on.
Raw Tag Team Championship match. Vacant titles. Matt Hardy, Bray Wyatt versus The Bar at the Greatest Royal Rumble. I thought it was a good performance from both superstars, as I liked them all. To me the match would have been neutral no matter what would happen, because I like The Bar and I like this new tag team with Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy. So no matter who would win this match, it would be neutral for me because I wouldn't care. So I thought it was good. So I thought it was good. I thought it was good.
I feel like on any other circumstance I would agree with that, but I think this was so over the top, like 110% predictable, that there was no
of course it was.
way of seeing The Bar possibly winning this.
Of course
to the point where I would have been disappointed in that manner if The Bar had won. Whereas normally I wouldn't have been disappointed, because I agree with what you said. I like The Bar as well. But because of the fact that it was so predictable and it was so built up for Matt and Bray to win it, and The Bar being on SmackDown, like, it's so obvious that they should lose it, that if they won, I'd just be like, what are you doing? Like, why? So that's how I feel about that.
Yeah, that's a good point. It was very predictable, and it did kind of take any of the excitement. Took the excitement away, which I can see.
It was,
and I don't really see that there weren't that many delete chants, and I mean the Saudi Arabians weren't really able to follow that, so I don't think that was a match that was even in the best interest for this pay-per-view. You know, I think they could have done something different, or had somebody.
I'm gonna follow up on the chants
to the Saudi Arabians,
and I don't want us to dwell on it again, but like I said before, it's a foreign country, and like you said, they only know like famous people, famous wrestlers. So I'd say that this event was for chant wise, it was bland. I didn't hear a lot of chants, and I get that. It's a foreign country. They don't really know Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy and Sheamus and Cesaro. They don't know how their thing goes and whatnot. So yeah,
that's what I'm saying. They don't. They couldn't have been as excited about it. But they might know the Hardy Boys. They might know Matt Hardy. You know,
we could be totally wrong about this.
But they don't. They don't really know the gimmick. Well, here's the reason why I'm saying they don't really know. It's either because of the language barrier, or because of there being a foreign country and they don't get enough wrestling, and they probably don't get enough wrestling. This is probably why this whole promotion thing, 10-year contract, is there, is so they can get.
Well, a lot of them do speak English. You got to think, just like in America, we take Spanish class in high school. They probably take English classes, and at the same time, they don't watch the WWE weekly in English. They have commentators that commentate in their language, so they can follow storylines. I know the language, the translation can be a little off at times, but it's still roughly, they know what's going on as far as...
Well, especially when you're trying to do something that's so obviously Western, like the broken Matt Hardy storyline. That kind of thing doesn't really translate well, I don't think.
Yeah,
you know how it's
I don't think so
intentionally cringy and the sarcasm, and it doesn't really...
different. I was just saying in general.
Yeah, I was just applying it to.
We had dwelling on it, like I didn't say I wanted to dwell on it.
No, we're going on now.
Throwing in my opinion. So we can move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. United States Championship match: Jeff Hardy versus Jinder Mahal. Okay.
This was kind of another same as.
It was so predictable that it took me out of it. I wasn't really invested. And as much as I love Jeff Hardy, you know,
I think it's hilarious that more people cheer for Jeff than Jinder.
Well, Saudi Arabia is not really that close to where it's like 3,000 miles.
India.
But the difference in mileage wasn't that much between where they are. I mean,
they
it's like still like 3,000
Jinder
miles
Mahal.
from his homeland.
They booed the shit out of Jinder Mahal. They threw him under the bus. I thought they would have cheered him.
No, I don't. I think the whole Thornhill gimmick thing is more to spit in the face of Americans than it is to encourage the other country.
Equality or something like that. Like,
I think it's more to piss us off than it is to get them to cheer for him, kind of thing. I don't think that they see. I think they see him as disrespectful.
Yeah, foreign people don't appreciate.
He's not really even from there. Like,
yeah.
And exactly, and why would they appreciate a foreign hill? Like, he's pretty much making them look bad by
I get
being a hill. It's a bad.
It's like if we had a guy going over to Japan talking about America, you know, being better than Japan, we would be like, "Oh, this guy's
racist and stuff like that."
No, we wouldn't really say that this guy's a dick because we're Americans.
Yes,
we wouldn't give a fuck.
We would throw that dude under the bus.
No, we wouldn't.
Because of all the race
We're not
stuff.
like that. I fucking love Japan. What are you doing, guy? Like, you're making us look like typical, stereotypical
racist Americans.
I'm being a heel. Calm down.
Type of Americans. Like,
I'm being a heel. Well, I'm just saying that from the factor of society these days.
Yeah.
How it's so racist and divided and whatnot. I'm just saying that in that standpoint of view. You guys are going more into being, you know, not really like not saying that we wouldn't do that. Like, most Americans wouldn't do that because I can't say they would or wouldn't, but from this point in age, I would assume they would be like, oh yeah, this guy's awesome, throw it in their face, say America's better, and shit like that. Just to the standpoint of how America is these days in society and whatnot, and especially all the shit that's going on. But yeah, we don't have to talk about that. That's entirely different.
There's a whole another
but
subject.
About this match with Jeff Hardy and Jinder Mahal. Well, we'll get to the next match. But I gotta say, the performance, I can't say I didn't like the performance by Jeff Hardy, because I thought it was pretty decent. He did good. He did his moves that he usually does, and he put on a great show. I just didn't really care for the match itself with Jinder Mahal, and I don't really care for that rivalry if that's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, we can move on to the next match, which was horrible match. I don't know if I really want to talk about it that much.
This was just, I don't know, just a stupid, like,
SmackDown tag team
not
match.
an entertaining rivalry or matchup or anything. Like, there's nothing good about it in my opinion.
We covered this basically on SmackDown. What we thought about.
I thought that this was finally going to be the time that they get toppled or something, and at least, you know, go back to something else or something, or introduce some other tag team to compete with them, or something to take it off of burying the New Day, burying the Usos week after week. But it wasn't, so I didn't end that bad.
Far from it. I agree with you. I thought so too. Oh, man, I really want to talk about it, but I really don't.
There's nothing to talk about. I think we've complained about it so much over the past month that we basically cover their match itself.
Yeah.
There's really nothing to say about it.
Well, yeah, but then Bludgeon Brothers won. They got the victory over Usos, and I think it just buries a bigger hole for Usos. They don't deserve it, especially how quick this push the Bludgeon Brothers got. I mean, they just came back with a new gimmick, and all of a sudden they're just destructible, and they can put down any tag team division or something. It's crazy. I don't care for it.
Well, I just knew that, you know, it was going to lead to Sanity or Authors of Pain or some other large group that could, you know, compete.
I don't know what's next for this, though. Do you think Usos is still going to go after these guys? Like, what do you see for the future of Usos and the Bludgeon Brothers, this whole rival? Like, how far is it gonna go? Because what it seems like is that they're just burying Usos now with this shitty ass team that just popped up with a new gimmick, and all of a sudden they're the amazing tag team ever, and they could beat anybody because, well, I guess they're so big and strong and crazy. I mean, it's disappointing, and like you said, I thought this would have been it. I thought Usos would have got the title. Maybe they're saving it for Backlash. I don't know, but I want this rival to end. Guys have any input? What you guys think? What they're gonna do with them?
I don't hate the Bludgeon Brothers. It's just that I don't
it's
really
too quick.
think that maybe
it's too quick of a push. I don't see them deserving it yet, or deserved it yet, and I don't know what they're gonna do with them in the future. What their future standpoint is gonna be. Like, are they gonna lose the titles? Like, are they gonna keep it? Who will they go after next? Maybe Sanity. But then where does that leave the Usos? Just WWE forgets about the Usos? Usos are irrelevant now to the tag team division? I mean, they're a great tag team. You know? I don't know. What do you think, Sol?
I don't know. I don't have nothing to say about this.
Alright. Well, I guess we can move on to a way better match than that. The ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship with The Miz, Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, and Samoa Joe, which this match was amazing in my point. Well, in my, what do you call it? I think it was amazing.
I agree, but I really want to see both Finn and Samoa Joe have title runs.
Huh?
Said I'd like to see both Finn Balor and Samoa Joe have title runs.
Same. I agree. But I would have been more disappointed if Samoa Joe won the title than all three of these guys. Even though, yeah, I want to see Samoa Joe with the title. I do like Samoa Joe. But I don't think it's his time yet for that title run. Since he just came back. But who knows, they could pull a Bludgeon Brothers on us with Samoa Joe.
Honestly, I think... I highly think Samoa Joe deserves...
He does deserve a title.
I'd rather see him take the title from Brock than Roman Reigns. And that's coming from a true Brock Lesnar fan. I think he deserves it more. But that could be biased because I've been watching Samoa Joe for a long time.
I watched his rivals in the NXT with Shinsuke and whatnot.
I watched him back before he was in NXT.
Oh yeah?
So I've known him for a long time.
Okay, you've known him for a long time. Okay, mister. I love Samoa Joe. I love Brock Lesnar.
You've been following Samoa Joe back when Samoa Joe was in high school.
No, he was. If you go back and watch some highlights of him in TNA, you'll see what I mean. Like, he's always been really good on the mic and in the ring. So I think he deserves that more than Roman Reigns, though. Roman Reigns has been in the WWE for like 4 years or something. Am I right? Has it been like 4 years since he's been on the main roster?
Yeah, you're right.
Like
something like that.
And he started with the WWE. He wasn't in like another promotion, was he?
I'm not sure. I don't know the whole history. You know what? You're the guy that apparently knows the whole history about Samoa Joe, so you should know this thing, Mister. I've been following him since he was there.
I'm talking about Roman.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think Roman... Oh, yeah. Roman was, before NXT, I think he was on NXT when it wasn't NXT. Yeah.
No, he was like in the FCW. Yeah, he was. He was in FCW because I saw a match of him and...
Yeah. He was on NXT before it was called NXT.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Florida. It's called
Florida. FCW, Florida Championship Wrestling.
Yeah.
I watched the match. Yeah, even Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt were on it. So it was like right before NXT. They were part of the transition. They went from FCW to NXT. They're probably part of the first class of the official NXT.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So about this match, this ladder match, I think like I said, it was an amazing ladder match, and I guess we all can agree on that. The performances that all these wrestlers was amazing performance, especially from Finn Balor. Man, I like that coup de grace he did with the ladder. But not the first, like, I thought the first one where I thought
he was going to try it with it on top of him.
Yeah, with it on top.
He's going to break an ankle or something.
Yeah.
I thought, and then he didn't. I was like, oh no.
I thought that was going to happen. I thought he was going to do that, but, I mean, either way, the second one that he did where, you know, what's-his-face was laying on top of the ladder and he went for the coup de grace, that was pretty good. I liked it. I mean, damn, his back must have been hurting from that, is all I'm saying. Okay. I can't say that this ladder match wasn't as great as the one from NXT TakeOver in New Orleans, because that one was crazy. That one was crazy good. But it was a good match, though. I mean, it was a lot better than anything was on WrestleMania. Like, this whole event.
If we judge all ladder matches by that standard of NXT New Orleans, then they're all going to be terrible.
Well, we've seen some good ones with Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy, with the Hardy Boys. We've seen good ones, and we've seen some good TLC matches
You can't.
We're talking about after.
Oh,
yeah, I'm talking about after that.
I get. I know what you mean.
If we're holding it to that standard, they're gonna have a hard time having good matches.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, this whole like, I can't say the whole event was. Well, I guess I can, but in a way, I kind of said it on my live stream on WWE live stream I did. I think it was Friday. Friday night or something. It was after I watched it. Greatest Royal Rumble. I said that the Greatest Royal Rumble was the best. Well, not best. Was better than WrestleMania, but it would have been better if there was title exchanges. You know what I'm saying? Because
I can agree there.
If you look at this whole event, there was no title exchanges. Just a title won, which was the vacant title, but there's no title exchanges. So what would have made this whole event way better and definitely put over WrestleMania would have been title exchanges. And I think that they did that for a reason. Is probably they want to save it for Backlash or something, or future pay-per-views where they can actually have a lot more people watching and that follow it more and know more to it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this match was amazing. For a second, I kind of thought maybe they would give Finn Balor this title because how he was going up, reaching for it. Then all of a sudden, Seth Rollins comes out of nowhere, gets on top of the turnbuckle, jumps on top of the ladder, and quickly grabs the title out of his hands. That was crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing that it almost broke the disbelief wall, you know, and like it made me say, well, if you can take the title off that quick, why didn't everybody just grab it like that and just rip it off?
Yeah.
Because everybody spends 10 minutes just barely touching it with one finger, and then all it really takes is one guy to scuff there. Oh, here it is. I got it.
Exactly. I know what you mean.
It's like it was super easy to take off. Like, it's just Velcro holding it up there, but they gotta tap it a few times and act like they can't reach it. It's almost like the tags in the corner when it's like, man, you can obviously reach. Come on.
Yeah.
You know, we know you can reach.
They're taking their time just as long as it takes the time on this game for a ladder match. You're just up there fiddling with how do you take this off? Let me see. I don't understand this.
Where's
the directions?
Here and a belt here, and run this through here. The rabbit goes around the hole through the woods.
I get what you're saying.
They gotta untie triple knots and shit.
What do you think, So? What do you think about the match? Amazing match. So?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah.
All right. We can move on to another good match in my book. I thought it was a good match. WWE Championship match. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. I honestly thought in this match Shinsuke would have won the title just because how things were going. But I guess I understand about this rivalry and they want to extend it more because that's what makes that's what makes the heel of Shinsuke is, this whole low blow thing and all this thing. It would be too short to end the face. To end the heel of Shinsuke, because if he won the title, I don't think they would have done much more to extend to making him a bigger heel. You know what I'm saying? Just extending this rival would just make him a huger heel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
I can see that.
So, like, they don't want it to be a short thing because they want changing the song and whatnot, and doing what he's doing what they're doing with him. They want the crowd to hate him. They want him as a heel. So I understand it. I understand of him losing again, doing his low blows and whatnot, and thinking that he could have won the match because the referee was distracted and giving AJ that low blow, and he was like, oh yeah, I got it, but nah, he didn't get it. But that's what I thought he would have got it, but like I said, I understand it. And I don't know how long this rival is going to be. And I don't release him back into a face, or is he going to be a heel for a long time? I don't know. I don't really know where it's going to go. What do you guys think? And nothing to be disappointed about. They both put their best performance on, and I enjoyed it. Would you guys agree?
Agreed.
Good match.
Agreed. Alright. Moving on. Which was a way better match than WrestleMania, the casket match. Undertaker versus Rusev. Ooh, this was a good match. I like this match. So, we had Rusev and Undertaker out here, going back and forth, striking. I think Rusev took a little bit. Well, Rusev had the match for a little bit, like maybe 3 minutes. He had the match, and then Undertaker had his part in the match where he took over most of the match, where he did all his signature moves and whatnot, the striking and the combinations and the old school, bringing them walking on top of the ropes and doing that move he does, and going for the tombstone and whatnot. And it was a funny match too, because how what's his name got involved into the match. What's his name again?
Aiden English got involved and got tombstoned.
Yeah.
It was pretty great.
Yeah. And it was a Rusev Day match, kinda like we talked about it, how having Rusev fight Undertaker is not really degrading. It's not really burying Rusev. It was an honorable match,
It didn't hurt him in any way, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I think Rusev could say the same thing, and I think that's why he took this match. It's like, it would give him a better standpoint of like, oh wow, this guy's going against Undertaker. Everybody knows Undertaker, but not a lot of people know Rusev, and I get that. And yeah, it was good. Aiden English, it was funny because at the end, I didn't know that Undertaker was gonna put Aiden English in the casket with Rusev. I thought he was just gonna chokeslam him outside of the ring, or maybe, close the casket and chokeslam Aiden English onto the casket and just do a little like crazy show off kind of thing. Because I thought it was gonna be something crazy that he was gonna do, but I can't say it wasn't boring, but it was funny having them both in the casket and him just closing the casket. It was good, no matter what.
Yep. I agree.
Good match. I liked all of it. I thought Undertaker put in a better performance. Rusev helped him, definitely sold it and helped him out in. When Rusev acted like he was scared of the casket.
Yeah.
Like that was good, and I mean, I think it definitely did its job and what it was supposed to do, and didn't hurt Rusev at all. So I think, all in all, for even the audience there, the Saudi Arabians, I think they probably enjoyed it just as much as anybody else.
Yep, of course.
Agreed.
Amazing match, better than WrestleMania. Again, I'm gonna say better than WrestleMania. Again, I'll say it better than WrestleMania. Alright, moving on to the main event, right? Well, not really the main event, but the co-main event of Greatest Royal Rumble. A lot of how do you say that word?
Controversial?
Yeah, controversial ordeal in this match. Steel cage match, alright. Roman versus Brock. I think it was this match was similar to the match in WrestleMania. The only thing why I think it was similar, because how Brock dominated Roman, it was opposite this time, where Roman dominated Brock in this match. And I don't know what they're gonna do, because at the end of the match we had Roman spear Brock through the steel cage. And before we get into that, let's just cover over what happened in this match, if a lot of people don't really know what happened.
I think they more so exchanged dominating each other in this match.
Well,
I don't think
that's true. That's true, because
the other. I think they started it off by making it look like, oh, Brock's just gonna demolish him again. And then Roman actually stood up and had a comeback this time, unlike WrestleMania.
Yeah.
He actually knocked him off his feet, hit him with some spears, hit him with some Superman punches.
Yeah.
Almost escaped. You know,
it wasn't really back and forth, though. That's what I was trying to say.
It wasn't really a back and forth. There was a back and then forth, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Like, it was. Yeah. One guy got the upper hand, and then Roman took it, and then you had Roman try to escape, and Paul Heyman hit him in the head with the door. You know, threw the door shut. You know, to make people think, oh, he's about to win, and then Paul Heyman comes in and saves the day. And I think the whole entire match was meant to show Roman is improving a little bit. He's fighting back now. He's not just getting manhandled. Like, he's showing that he's able to at least go toe-to-toe with Brock at this point now. He's not just getting manhandled. And it's also to build more controversy. I think what they might be trying to do is trying to get people to lean towards wanting Roman to win the title even more. Like, they want Roman to take the title. I think they want the fans to want that. I think that's the whole concept of this match. It was, like I said, Roman actually fought back this time. And then you have the sneaky little Paul Heyman comes in and saves Brock from losing. So people are going to be controversial and pissed off about that. And then obviously the results of the match was definitely meant to be controversial to piss people off. So I think it's just build up to try to get people to like Roman, which is basically what the WWE revolves around, is trying to make Roman the guy. This is the whole concept of that company, apparently. I don't see it. I do like Roman. I know I don't sound like I like Roman. I know everything I say is contradiction to me liking Roman, but I don't see him being the next
guy that puts off.
He's not The Rock. He's not Stone Cold. He's not John Cena. He's not Triple H. He's not the Undertaker.
Yeah, but who else would?
He's not gonna be.
Okay, you said you would like to see Samoa Joe. Besides Samoa Joe, who else would you want to see pull off this match and win?
I just said I
put
wanted
over
to see.
Brock.
I just said I would like Samoa Joe to have a title run, not be the face of the company.
No. But you said before you would rather have Samoa Joe go for the title than Roman Reigns.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So who else would you want to see?
So who else would you want to see besides Roman Reigns? That's what I'm getting to. Who else would you want to see other than Samoa Joe?
As the face of the company?
No, as the guy to dethrone the Brock.
Exactly.
Take the title from Brock Lesnar.
Oh, I don't necessarily. want Samoa Joe to be the one to do it. I said I would rather Samoa Joe over Roman Reigns do it.
I know, but I'm telling you, who else would you rather see than Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe?
Yeah.
Okay. Off the top of my head, I don't know. I'd have to.
Off the top of my
head, a person
Bobby
active
Lashley.
right now in WWE. Who would you want?
Top of my head is Bobby Lashley.
That's a good one.
Bobby Lashley, nah, definitely not. Bobby Lashley would be on like the bottom of my.
So you would rather have Roman Reigns than Bobby Lashley?
I would pick Roman Reigns over Bobby Lashley, probably. Yeah.
Okay, so then who else would you want? Then not Bobby Lashley. Who would you want to replace Roman Reigns?
Braun might be decent for it. I don't know. This is really like a controversial question. I have to really sit and think
really.
About. Like,
I'm just saying, who would you want?
It's not a simple like, oh, against this guy. Like, I have to put a lot of thought into it.
No, I think it's not simple for you because you're a big fan of Brock Lesnar. I think that's why it's not simple for you.
I just said that. So I just said it's not simple for me because I am a big Brock Lesnar fan.
Because I wouldn't care if Bobby Lashley wins over Brock. I think that would be a good match.
I think that Brock Lesnar deserves a lot more respect from the fan base. He's done a lot for the company. He's been there for a long time. He's up there with, like even you said, with Triple H and those guys. Triple H, John Cena. He could have been the show opener. Even you said it yourself.
I know.
So he deserves more than losing the title to Roman Reigns, who's been there for a few years. Like, he deserves more credibility than that. I think that would be just as disappointing as you say Brock Lesnar being the one to defeat Undertaker for the first time at WrestleMania was disappointing. I think it'd be even more disrespectful to let Roman be the one to take the title from him if he was leaving the company. I think it's the same thing. I think,
but you still can't come up with another person to dethrone Brock Lesnar.
Roman Reigns, I read it last night. Roman Reigns has lost to Brock Lesnar 35 times in the past 4 years. 35. He has not beaten Brock Lesnar in one-on-one competition yet. 35 times he has lost. Don't you think at some point, something's got to give?
Sure. For the sake of storyline, I'm just saying, if Brock Lesnar was to leave the company,
see, you always put in that if, but you still don't give an answer. You put an if, you put an excuse.
That is my answer.
I just want an answer of who would you rather have than Roman Reigns. Not if, not buts, nothing. I just want to know who you think would be a better wrestler in this point
if
wrestling.
If Brock Lesnar was to leave the company, besides Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns, who would you like to see him drop the title to? Who's your next go-to?
Does it have to be a current Raw superstar?
Yes, because that's the whole point.
Either Raw or SmackDown is legitimately possible because they can make that kind of move.
I don't know.
I think you're just giving. I think you're just giving Brock a huge credit, and I think you just. I understand what you're saying.
We all do that.
I am giving him huge credit.
I understand your point of view of it. I understand.
Just go like, oh, Ty Dillinger. Oh.
No. I understand your point. Yeah, that's ridiculous. I understand that. I understand your point of view of it. But I think you're giving too much, because titles are there for a reason, and there's always gonna be an underdog or somebody that comes up and take a title from a huge person. That's the thing about titles. It's not gonna be where, like, even modern day Maharaja, he won the fucking title from fucking Randy Orton and whoever else. Like, wouldn't you think that'd be degrading, having Randy Orton lose to the modern day Maharaja? Like, would you think Randy Orton deserves more respect than losing to some fucking guy everybody hates?
But Randy Orton wasn't leaving the company. I get Soul's point on that too.
I know, but I'm just saying from the point of view where he was making about respect, and he deserves better, a goodbye is what I'm saying. Let's just put that goodbye to the side. Let's just say if he was still in the company.
been confused or in question of what you're asking me at all. I understand 110% exactly what you're asking of me. I'm trying in the most formal way to let you know that I don't have an answer for you. Like, I'd have to dwell on it and think about it. Like, I don't have an answer. Like, I can't answer your question. Like, I'm not confused about what you're asking me. I get it. It's the same.
Answer?
What's my answer?
Yeah.
I mean, Soul's gonna disagree about it. I wouldn't care if Roman wins. I wouldn't care if Braun wins. I wouldn't care if Bobby Lashley won the title. To me, those three guys deserve the title run.
It completely. But your answer is more emotional than mine, as being a Brock Lesnar fan. As you not being a Brock Lesnar
that's
fan,
what
you're
my
being
whole
more
point
emotional
is, though.
on the anti-Brock
that's my whole point
side
is,
of it,
though,
saying,
of the conversation.
But
it's
it's
because you're too much of a Brock Lesnar
I don't care
fan.
who it is.
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying I wouldn't care if Ty Dillinger wins the title. I'm not saying if Baron Corbin wins the title, I would be okay with it. I think from a standpoint of view of big wrestlers that are actually good wrestlers, good performers, and people that I actually like. You know, I'm not saying I'm a big fan of them. I'm not like a fanboy. I would love Roman Reigns to win the title from Brock, or would love Braun Strowman or Bobby Lashley to win the title from Brock. I mean, I understand your point of view. I know you're a big fan of him, and I know it would be kind of disappointing if he lost to Roman, as you were saying. But I think you're, like you said, the emotional part. You're getting too emotional to it. It's like there's a point.
No, he's supposed to.
I understand that, but it's entertainment.
Like
I think that
it's entertainment.
I think you remember
how mad we were when Jinder beat Randy Orton. We weren't happy.
At the end, it's entertainment.
We got in our feelings about it.
And I was equally as
disappointed
in that.
And wouldn't you be mad if Brock Lesnar lost to Roman?
I put Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton on the same pedestal. I respect Randy Orton just like I do Brock Lesnar. He's been there for the longest time. He's done everything there is to do. He's an amazing performer. He's a lifer. He's a Hall of Famer. He's amazing. I put him in the same. If it was you asking me this question about Randy Orton instead of Brock Lesnar, I'd have the same answer for you. I don't know. I don't know who off the top of my head deserves that kind of recognition. It takes somebody big. It takes a big deal. It's somebody who's going to be in the company for the next... It's going to be somebody that's going to be... They're expecting to be in the company for at least the next 10 to 15 years as like a face of the company type of person. It's not an easy question to answer. It's not, oh, Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley isn't going to be there for the next 10 to 15 years.
I know he's not going to be there, but he does deserve a title.
Why should he be the one to beat Brock Lesnar? That's ridiculous. And that's why I say that you're speaking more out of an emotion than I am. Because you don't care because you don't like Brock Lesnar, so it doesn't matter to you who beats him.
That's the putting words on. I never said I don't like Brock Lesnar. I never said I don't like Brock Lesnar.
How?
I never said I don't like Brock Lesnar. I said I wouldn't mind if Roman won or Bobby Lashley.
You wouldn't mind if Bobby Lashley won. Why? Defend that.
Because
why should
it would
Bobby
be well
Lashley
deserved.
Be the one?
Same thing with Braun. I mean, I understand. I understand where your point where Bobby Lashley won't be in the company for 15 years.
Bobby Lashley would deserve that, he would have never left the company.
Then he would probably defend the title more often than Brock would. Just saying that. I just want to see more active title defenses.
That's the
Some
emotion
people can argue
bullshit.
that defending the title all the time takes the title away from it, and that only having it defended every couple months
that's the gimmick. That's the story.
I know it's the story.
There's sides to everything, and you can't just look at it from a black and white perspective.
I know.
There's different angles involved, and it's coming from everywhere. You can't just break it down into it's as simple as this or that.
I know that.
It's not.
Honestly, I'm not asking this question to get over because I don't know the answer. But this is an interesting question on the topic. How many more times in AJ's title run has he defended the title than Brock Lesnar? If you're talking about Brock Lesnar doesn't defend the title enough, But AJ Styles doesn't defend the title that often either. I mean, they both
He
defend them at
defends it
pay-per-views.
more
I think
often
AJ's
than
even
Brock
defended it
Lesnar
on
does.
SmackDown like 2 or 3 times. I mean, not to just poke holes in it, but I mean, it's definitely more often.
Okay, that's fine,
It
because
is
I'm
more
not, like I
often.
said, I'm not asking to say, oh, well, I was just asking because it was
Yeah, I
something
remember a
that
few
popped up in
times
my
where
head.
he straight up defended it on SmackDown, and he's lost the title
But
too. So there's
that
that.
also brings you to what Street just said, or what Sheep just said about defending it. You could also say that defending it multiple times takes the value, and Brock Lesnar
Honestly,
is, this
Brock
storyline is he's
Lesnar.
the beast. It's supposed to be a
I
build-up of
know the
fear.
story. I know the story, but I think you just put. I think I think you're just too emotional about it, and you want somebody that would be in the company to take the title longer. You want somebody that would be there in 15 years, and somebody that would get
Well, you're
that
asking the
has
guy
better
to
recognition
name a
to
new
hold the
face of the
title.
company.
But the thing is, that's
There,
not how
you
WWE
can't really do
works,
that.
man. It's entertainment. It's not about, oh, this guy's an amazing wrestler. He deserves his title for the longest time he can hold it, and he doesn't have to defend it all the time. It's not all about that. It's entertainment. If it was something like
It
that,
is
it would have
about
been
it. We'll see, Street.
it would
Where
be
you're
something
digging a
like
hole
UFC
there
or
is
something.
this is Brock Lesnar, and he's a huge draw. So it is all about
I
entertainment, and
know
that's
it's
what
all
Brock
about
Lesnar
that. I
is.
know it's all about like Brock Lesnar, how he's this big beast guy, and how like he's been in the company for a long time, and fucking he's
He sells
amazing and
tickets. He
this he
sells
sells tickets and blah
subscriptions.
blah. Yeah,
That's what
yeah, yeah.
matters.
But the thing is,
Entertainment.
if he's
So then why
leaving,
should it be just
why
anybody
should it?
to beat him? Like
I'm
I
not
don't
saying it
get what
should be anybody.
you're just like contradicting yourself. I don't understand
No, I'm
now
not
what you're
contradicting
going on
myself
about.
because you're saying that it shouldn't be just anybody. Roman Reigns is not just an anybody. Bobby Lashley's not just an anybody. Yeah, he might be just an anybody at the moment because he just returned, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have past story with WWE or relations with WWE. Roman Reigns, yeah, I can understand that. I can understand it since he is a new generation of a wrestler. Same thing with Braun Strowman.
That's the thing.
But
Roman Reigns has the look. He has the athleticism. He's almost as big as Brock. He's not, jacked up like Brock Lesnar. He's almost the same size. You could
why do we have
legitimately
to make?
see them
But why do we have to make the
succeed.
Universal title a title that has to be somebody big, buff, a crazy
It doesn't.
or
It
amazing?
doesn't because they were
It's
going to
just
have
where
Finn
we're at
Balor
right
win it.
now.
It's just right. That's where it's at. It's being held by that type of character, and it's just
I know,
a archetype,
I
a
know what you're
stereotype.
saying there.
It's just what they're going with now. And later on, it might be an underdog like
But
Daniel
there's not that
Bryan. He
many
might have a
people in
run.
the WWE in Raw right now that's similar to Brock Lesnar. So it's either gonna have to be one of three of those guys that takes the title from Brock Lesnar. I mean, if it's not Roman Reigns, it's gonna have to be Braun. If it's not Braun, it's gonna have to be Bobby Lashley. No matter what time point, it's gonna have to happen. If Brock
Or
Lesnar is
Samoa
gonna
Joe.
leave the company and he's gonna be losing the title, it's gonna have to be one of those three guys or somebody else, or maybe Kane or something. I don't fucking know. Would you rather have Kane or Big Show?
No,
They've been in the
Kane
company
doesn't. No,
for a long
neither one of
time.
those deserve to beat Brock Lesnar.
But
They've both been destroyed by Braun Strowman. So if Braun Strowman
yeah,
can't beat Brock Lesnar, then neither can
true.
them.
But wouldn't you say Kane and Big Show deserve respect? They deserve
They
a
don't
title
deserve
run.
not a universal title run. Not right now. It's not believable.
Yeah, it's not
You
believable
don't.
right now, but if they made a
It's
story
not
to it,
believable.
maybe.
Maybe, but they don't. They're not going to push that because that's not going to sell subscriptions. They want a big nostalgia does
Yeah,
sell,
well,
but
there's not
only
a lot of
with.
big names that can replace Brock Lesnar. All
That's
right.
why they're going to push Roman Reigns. We're jumping way down into these deep. Well, who do we want? But it's
Exactly.
not
That's
who
why I
we
was
want that's going
bringing
to
up
matter.
the whole
They're
thing
going to
about who
put
would you
Roman
rather
Reigns there
have.
no matter what we want.
Yeah, that's why I was telling Soul if you
Or
don't
they're going to put
agree
Braun
with
Strowman.
Roman taking the place,
I
then
think there's a
who
shift in
else?
the landscape, and I think they're definitely going to start leaning more towards Strowman as the person to take the Universal title. And I think they're just going to keep letting Romans do his thing until it naturally clicks, because it's going to eventually. I think he just needs the time. I think that's the biggest deal, is that a lot of people see it as too quick of a push, but I mean, 4 years is a long time. I've seen people look. Kevin Owens came up through the NXT system, and he's already been Universal Champion. You know, AJ Styles was already wasn't he Universal Champion?
I think so. Yeah.
Or maybe just World,
maybe.
But just that quick.
I think this is first World.
But AJ Styles, definitely put in his time, was already a well-established name overseas and stuff like that. But not so much with like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. While they had done stuff, they weren't giant stars overseas. They came with kind of a little bit of buzz about them, but they weren't just like the must-see thing. Like people weren't subscribing just so they could watch NXT and see Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. But Kevin Owens has already had multiple title runs and probably a comparable push to Roman Reigns. So having that quick of a push isn't just unheard of. It's mostly, I think, to do with the attitude that all the fans in general put towards Roman Reigns, and it blurs our line of thinking. It makes us think that Roman Reigns genuinely doesn't deserve it, and it makes us biased towards Roman Reigns, and we automatically judge him poorly, even when any of us that actually watch unbiasedly, and I know you do, Soul, and I know Street does too, and we're just digging way deep into this topic right now.
Like, I'm not trying to defend anybody. That's the thing. We can all
look at Roman Reigns and
I'm
say
not
that
defending
the
anybody.
man can wrestle and he can do good promos and he's got what it takes. It's just the time's not right. And it's mostly because of the bad push that he's received. It's nothing at all on him. And that's where I think we need to separate ourselves on the Roman Reigns thing, is that none of this is his fault, and he definitely has the tools in his toolbox to do it and to have done it in the time frame that he's in now.
And we touched on this before. We touched on it.
Writing's fault. It's creativity's fault. It's
exactly,
their fault.
And we touched on this multiple times about it's not the wrestler's fault. It's what's given to them.
And I think that now it's gotten so far along that they have to stick to their guns because they've dug such a hole with this Roman Reigns thing.
And you know what?
If they don't stick to their guns, it's
and you know what's funny though?
Even worse.
It's people like us that we talk about stuff like this, is because there's other wrestling fans out there that's on this same topic talking about stuff similar to this about WWE, about giving bad characters, giving bad scripts to good wrestlers that could have potential of being a good wrestler, but just given bad scripts. You know what I'm saying? It's just how it is now.
WWE has billions and millions of dollars. Why not just hire competent writers?
Yeah,
I agree, and
I'm sure some of them are good, but whatever. They come up with good stuff every once in a while, but I think a lot of it is the control. WWE has to control so much of the creativity that I think they're just the naturalness out of it. It's so forced.
I think they're just so deep into story and entertainment more than wrestling in WWE now, honestly.
Well, no, the wrestling is still there because
it's still there, but there's a lot more story now. There's promos all the time now than they used to be.
But compare this to the Attitude Era. The Attitude Era was not about wrestling.
I know, but the Attitude Era was basically about. Yeah, I know, but it was more to it too. It had story as well. I understand that, but the story of the Attitude Era, we all know what it was.
Because the wrestling aspect of it is definitely making a comeback, especially with the NXT, and as they start to filter back in, and it's definitely started leaning more towards wrestling with Daniel Bryan's push. That was the first time we've seen something like that in a long time, and I mean it's definitely getting better as opposed to worse as far as the wrestling goes. So I don't agree with that aspect of your argument, Street. But I do agree that
it's all good.
I think that Roman Reigns is a good
person
to take the belt from
that I wanted to
Brock at some point, because he has put in the work. I mean, the dude took 35 losses to Brock. That's putting in the work, That's getting up and getting off that horse or getting knocked off the horse and getting right back on it over and over and over again until he succeeds. And if that's not what we want from a wrestler, then I don't know what is. You know, you want that determination, never quit, never say die. That's what we genuinely want. And I mean, I know it feels like he's being shoved down our throats, but at some point, you know, we've got to accept that he is that good, you know, and we should maybe start to change our perspective of how we look at Roman Reigns. He's a good wrestler. He's good promos. He's got the size, he's got the look, and he was just forced down our throat. And it's
We got a
not
new
his
subscription,
fault.
by the way.
That's because we talk about the shit that needs to be talked about right here on Dat Wrasslin podcast.
I appreciate you subscribing, DJ. I just seen it pop up on the notification thing. I don't know if you're still here.
The way that you describe it, Sheep, because I think you're kind of like the middleman here. You're the least emotional of the three of us on this whole topic we've been talking about.
Totally, because I don't care about either one of them.
Yeah. So you put it more in like more professional, descriptive.
Well, I'm on the
terms.
outside looking in as far as I'm
see. That's why
unbiased.
there's supposed to be 4 of us, and it's good to have. This is why it's a podcast, because it's wrestling fans giving their opinions and their thoughts, and to have all of us talking about it, it shows the sides of different people and how they look at things. You know what I'm saying? Wrestling.
I just want to add one last thing to this topic. I feel like every time we get on the Brock Lesnar topic, and for the past, I don't know how many months, the past couple months, I've been going around in everybody's streams and in Discord and in the podcast, and Brock's the GOAT, I'm trolling, everybody, and I don't honestly believe Brock's the greatest of all time, obviously. I love Brock Lesnar.
But now it's gotten to be such a thing that you have to defend him. So it's almost exaggerated.
I think he's an amazing superstar. He's a collegiate wrestler.
I'm not saying
he's been
that
in the company
isn't.
For so long.
I'm not saying that he isn't.
He's a face of the company, not the face, a face. Anytime you're gonna remember Brock Lesnar, like you remember the Undertaker, like you remember Triple H, he's up there with them guys. You're gonna remember him.
Of course,
don't tell me you're
not
not.
saying he isn't.
You're not gonna be like, oh, who's that?
But I think his time is done, is what I'm saying. I think he should just stop joining WWE and just move on. Is what I'm saying. We need to move on from Brock Lesnar.
This is what I'm trying to say. I think the reason why I get so fueled up and I get so defensive of him is all these times that I go around trolling about him.
You're expecting a good goodbye for him, is what you're saying.
No, not just that. I'm saying anytime I have conversations about wrestling with any of my real life friends, anybody at work, with you guys, with other people, new people that I meet in WWE streams, because I go around in all kinds of different WWE streams and talk wrestling with people during my off time. And I get the same reactions from everyone everywhere. Everyone fucking hates Brock Lesnar.
I don't hate him.
But everyone's... I'm not assuming Streetkilln hates Brock Lesnar. Let me just talk. Let me get this off. I'm saying in the general, the mass public, from what my personal experience is, everyone is so anti-Brock Lesnar. Everyone thinks that, everyone feeds in with all this, he doesn't show up to work, he doesn't defend the title, he hasn't been on Raw in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's all the same. Like, everyone's just so... He needs to give up the title. He needs to retire. He needs to go back to UFC. Everything's so hateful towards him. And that's why I get so fueled up and I defend him the way I do, because I feel like nobody is ever on my side or sees what I see. Nobody respects what he's done in the WWE. Like, you could have this argument for anybody else. Why Brock? Like, why is he the bad guy?
Because he's the title holder, that's why.
You can clearly see at any show, or lots of them, and it's regional as well. I've learned that in a lot of places, Brock Lesnar is fucking God. Suplex City is the only thing you're gonna hear when you.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like in my personal experiences, in my personal life, like all I hear is like anti-Brock. That's why especially when he won at WrestleMania. It felt fucking good to troll you guys. It felt good to fuck with. I was going into random WWE streams all night, just typing Brock is GOAT, and just hearing people go off and just laughing. Shit was funny to me because I felt like as a fan I deserved that.
Isn't that kind of the point? What is Brock? Is Brock a face?
No, he's equal. He's an equal person.
Exactly.
He's on there with the Rock and Stone Cold.
In a perfect world, or in the world the WWE is wanting to build, there should be the general feeling for Brock Lesnar should be, I don't like Brock Lesnar because he is a heel. Most people don't look at wrestling kayfabe like we do. We look at it from how is WWE doing this? How we don't look at it as real story. We say, well, what's creative? What's writing? What are they doing about it? We're looking at it deeper than anybody else. So where you're going into these other streams, a lot of them are, more invested in the storyline, and they're not. I hate to use the terms as smart as us, but they're not as smart as us as far as knowing.
They're not 100% true wrestling fans, is what he's saying.
Well, they might be casual fans, or they might not know that. Everybody should know right by now that wrestling's fake.
Let me just throw this out here. My dad watches wrestling. He's been watching wrestling since I was little. He does not watch wrestling because he's a big fan. He watches it because it's entertainment for him. It's something that he likes to watch. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have wrestlers that he loves, and like whenever a wrestler comes out, he gives his opinion.
He's a casual fan.
Yeah, he's just a casual fan. He's been watching it for a long time. He doesn't know what a heel is. He doesn't know what a face is. He doesn't know what kayfabe is. Only people like that knows that is true wrestling fans. And
exactly.
And I hate to say it,
that's
true.
What I'm saying. And when you're most true wrestling fans are more than willing to acknowledge how good Brock Lesnar is. We all know, and he's one of a kind. Nobody will probably ever come along that's going to have that presence. Is the way I can put it. But that's Brock Lesnar, and and after a long enough time, even the fans can get tired of the same thing if that's what they deem it to be, especially when, as we've had the argument before, but in my opinion, I formed mine a long time ago, before the whole thing was brought to the main events and brought into promos about him being a part-timer and stuff like that. I had seen him do the Stone Cold podcast with Stone Cold, and I had heard him, just some general promo or talk stuff that he done, did interviews about the WWE, and what I generally gleaned from the guy himself was that wrestling was just a thing for him to do to make money. It was just a job. It wasn't, and here's where I should distance myself from, because I've recently learned that it pretty much was the same thing with HBK. Shawn Michaels didn't really care or love wrestling that much. It was just a job to him, and still is, and that's why he hasn't returned. But with Brock Lesnar, there's almost a nonchalantness about it, or it's whatever, it's wrestling, blah blah. It's almost like he was embarrassed to be a wrestler. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only point that I didn't like about Brock Lesnar, was that I generally thought that he didn't respect the business. From a personal standpoint, I personally don't think he cares about wrestling, or just the past.
I think you build that factor is because
the fans even.
I think you build that factor because how he will take UFC and wrestling at the same time. And reason of taking it, like, if you're a true wrestler, I don't think you're gonna be doing two different type of sports at the same time. As wrestling wise is what I'm saying.
I think that could be great. That could be amazing. I would love to see like Conor McGregor bouncing back and forth, bringing the UFC
But the thing
title
is,
to
if your true
WWE,
passion is to be a UFC fighter and to be a good fighter and overcome, a lot of fighters in the UFC, that's gonna be it's what you want to be. You want to be a big person in the UFC. You want to be a good martial arts fighter. And the thing with martial arts though is, if you're in martial arts, you can extend to other kinds of wrestling, like other kind of fighting things.
People
like
have done it before. Bobby Lashley is
yeah, I know. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, but that's if you started off in the UFC. But if you're going from a wrestler from like WWE, it's a lot different in UFC than WWE. It's a lot more real of everything. Same thing with boxing. If you're starting off as a wrestler, right?
Most of the first UFC fighters were WWE wrestlers, right?
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying there. But I'm just saying the transition, it's a lot different. And I think, I don't know how to say it without it being coming out stupid is what I'm saying. I'm just trying to identify wrestling as in WWE wise from different sports of fighting, like boxing or martial arts or kickboxing. WWE is a lot different from that.
I think what you're saying is if you're going by that kind of a standard, then like 3/4 of the company none of them are even wrestlers to begin with. If you're talking about wrestling, this is not wrestling. Wrestling is
I know. That's what I'm trying to say. Is what I'm trying to say.
College level.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
If you came into the WWE without that background and then went into the UFC, then you're probably gonna get fucked up because you're not really a wrestler.
And I think that's why that's what happened to.
But Brock Lesnar is a collegiate champion.
CM Punk identifies is what I'm trying to say. CM Punk,
Brock Lesnar. Okay, we can all just generally agree that Brock Lesnar is not a normal person. Brock Lesnar is an exception to the rule. He's a monstrous.
But what I'm trying to say
makes sense here because Brock didn't just start out from the WWE and went to UFC. He went from collegiate champion wrestling to the WWE to the UFC.
Yeah.
CM Punk is just an in-ring performer, entertainer.
Well, he had some kickboxing experience before that. But almost zero WWE stars have no experience with things that are, because UFC fighters come from the NFL all the time. Or, football. Big football players get into MMA because of their size. And that's how they go to the UFC. A lot of them are former football players. Just size, it's a type. And in the smaller ones, it's definitely a different world in the lightweight divisions and stuff like that. But if we're talking about stuff like Brock Lesnar, that's wrestlers do cross over well because of the athleticism required. And it's inherently similar, especially with they're conditioning their bodies and they're already numbing their nerves by taking blows.
Taking bumps and stuff like that.
Nerves, and yes, that makes it less painful when you actually get
hit. But there's still a big difference of the ring performance other than the training. The training is a lot different than the performance in the ring. Is what I'm saying. They're entirely two different things, obviously. In UFC, there's actual punching, actual bleeding, actual concussions.
Well, there's actual punching and bleeding in WWE too. They just pull the punches and lately, you haven't seen a bladed cut in wrestling in fucking a decade. Everything that's been happened when somebody got opened up was like forced. Like Kevin Owens really opened up Vince McMahon. Brock Lesnar really opened up Randy Orton and Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Like with legitimate gave Randy Orton a
I know, but it was scripted though. That's the thing, is what I'm saying. is when people are in UFC and they're fighting, they're not gonna say, okay, dude, I'm gonna cut you open, all right? I'm gonna punch you in the fucking face and you're gonna bleed all over the fucking place, all right? I'm just letting you know that that doesn't happen in UFC. Is what I'm saying. UFC is more of a realistic fighting and more.
Well, it is a realistic fight. It's a real fight.
Yeah, it's more real fighting, and people that are training in WWE, and they're going to the gym, they're training, they're getting buff, they're training to take these bumps and whatnot, and if they try to make the transition to another sport like UFC, they're just gonna end up like somebody like CM Punk. CM Punk, he just made the transition
you're
to
looking
UFC
at it
thinking.
all wrong. If that's the case, then where do all these other UFC fighters come from? Were they just born in a UFC factory where only UFC fighters can come from?
Like you were saying,
because you're saying that wrestlers don't do well.
You were saying earlier that a lot of UFC fighters come from sports like NFL and stuff, and I get that. I'm not just saying that, oh, they're gonna end up poorly in UFC. I mean, it all depends on what you're training. Like, if you're training well for it as well.
I think it depends more on the person and not the general fact of where did they come from.
It's not where they're coming from.
Yeah, it's not where they're coming from. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying if you take somebody...
UFC fighter come from fucking ballet for all I fucking know.
It's like, I'm saying if you're taking somebody like Baron Corbin and throw him into a UFC fight, he's not going to do amazing. He's not gonna.
I actually think
definitely
Baron
not
Corbin
gonna...
might do pretty good in a UFC fight from his size and the looks of him, and he was a Golden Glove boxer. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know he was a Golden Glove boxer, but I'm just saying, like somebody that only has wrestling.
3 seasons in the NFL.
The only thing, the thing I'm saying is people that only have wrestling experience.
Yes, I mean,
especially he definitely has the natural.
That gut, notwithstanding,
he has a natural attitude for it.
Yeah, we don't like him, but he would murder me in a fucking he would rip my head off.
I think any wrestler would murder anybody in a fight because if you put it to the point of we don't even have any
I think I could probably take Mike Kanellis.
You think so?
All right, I think with that I'm gonna say goodnight and.
No, we didn't even cover the
Royal Rumble. It's 4:30. I told you 4 o'clock. I gave you an extra half an hour.
Jesus, we didn't even cover the Royal Rumble. The thing I wanted to bring about the Rumble is that there was no surprises in the Rumble. Same thing with the actual Royal Rumble that WWE did. There was really no surprises. What was the only surprise in the Royal Rumble was the surprise, and that was disappointing. And that's why I wanted to bring up earlier in the podcast is why can't WWE get people in the Rumble? Why can't they have people do a one-time thing? Huh?
I wasn't expecting Hornswoggle. I thought it was entertaining too. I think he should have stayed out there a little bit longer, but.
But what is it with WWE?
The Samoan drop to Kofi Kingston. That was great. Come on.
But what is it with WWE not getting anybody to sign in for a one-time thing?
About that. I mean, it's controversial.
You think it's just money-wise?
A lot of people want to go to Saudi Arabia. A lot of it might be.
No, but it's not just Saudi Arabia. It's just the actual Rumble as well. There wasn't many surprises. There was one or two. That was Rey Mysterio. Was the biggest surprise there.
Chris Jericho, which he was advertised.
Chris Jericho in the Saudi Arabia Rumble, Chris Jericho, Great Khali, and Rey Mysterio was already announced. So they weren't really surprises, all right, is what I'm saying. Why can't WWE get a surprise? It doesn't have to be a big character. It doesn't have to be an old wrestler. Somebody like the Boogeyman or somebody from that used to wrestle, like MVP or something, or somebody we haven't seen in a while that used to wrestle. Why can't they get somebody signed? Do you think it's just money issue?
They did, but here's the thing: you just wanted more than they thought that they needed to.
There's probably all kinds of different reasons for all these different people that you can think of to name. I mean, one guy might be too out of shape or just too lazy, or one's got 10 kids now, or one's got another job.
And we've seen most of SmackDown and Raw.
Here's what I was most disappointed in. I didn't think that the Kofi Kingston not elimination was as good as previous years. I think it wasn't good.
I think a lot of the people that that were in the Royal Rumble were like stupid. Like there's a lot of people that got left
Sheep
out.
said
And
it to me.
goes
They
to
were
me
all
with what
jobbers, basically. Most of the
Yeah,
people
it was
in there
like
were
9
jobbers.
jobbers and then a good person, then 9 jobbers and then a good person. So it worked out to be like 5 good people and 45 jobbers.
And they may have been forced into that. Like you said, it's a controversial place. Maybe some people didn't want to go or they couldn't for whatever reason. I don't know, but I mean, I'm sure there's reasons why. Because look at the people that came there from NXT. I've never even seen them on NXT. I was like, what? I don't remember them from NXT.
But that one guy was bigger than Braun Strowman, which I didn't realize till he got up there with Braun Strowman. I was like, that's surprising. But then he was eliminated very quickly.
But I was like, where's Aleister Black and Adam Cole and these guys?
Well, Roderick
from NXT?
Strong came out, so that was
I know,
interesting.
but
And he was one of the shining moments of the Rumble because he like gave everybody a fucking backbreaker, and I was like, okay, get it.
But let me touch on the fact about people not wanting to go to Saudi Arabia. It would have to be a personal reason other than money reason, because doesn't WWE pay for the travel shit? You know what I'm saying?
Well, Saudi Arabia is not necessarily known for having an open mind. Being gay is punishable by death.
Yeah.
The whole women stuff. So a lot of people do take that kind of stuff personally. Like, there was a big thing about Finn Balor didn't wear his new rainbow shit. Because
that's why he does he has the block now when he appears now. Is he got rid of the rainbow shit? Now it's just the white outline.
Well, when he goes back, it'll probably be back to the rainbow thing, because it was supposed to be about how the Balor Club was all about
the fucking Balor Club. When is Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows gonna change their fucking uniform? It's still the Balor Club shit. Have you noticed that they have the Balor Club symbol on their fucking pants and shit?
I was confused about that too.
I was like, what the fuck?
But well, speaking of personal reasons, that's the reason Sami Zayn wasn't there.
Why?
I had to look that up.
He's from Syria.
Because he's of Syrian descent, and they cut off relations in 2012, I think it said.
Well, they gave weapons to the Syrian rebels,
and he just started what is it? Sammy for Syria.
He's not Canadian.
No, well, he lives in Canada, but his parents are from Syria.
He's basically like Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal is born and raised in Canada, but he's of Indian descent. It's kind of like that.
Oh, I see.
But he has like a fundraiser thing for Syria.
He even speaks
I wouldn't think
Arabic.
he was Syrian. That's crazy.
I know he speaks Arabic because they put it on every single time he comes into the ring. That little bio thing speaks fluent Arabic, like we fucking know.
I never really pay attention to that.
I read them all the time, and it doesn't change very often.
Then why you read it all the time if it doesn't change often?
AJ Styles always says like he has tattoos of his kids, and I'm like, okay, we get it. Like
we can only see on the side.
Like, why is that like the thing to put up there for AJ? Like all the stuff he's done in his career, he has tattoos of his kids. Like, all right, it's not that he has kids; he has tattoos of them.
Yeah.
He's like, why do we have to dwell on that?
I don't know.
Every week.
Like, the fucking bio thing.
They put the silliest shit up there.
I guess so. That's probably why I don't really pay attention to it.
I think that's the point, though, is to put something, they want to tell you something about the superstar you may not have known.
Yeah.
But, I mean, change it up,
Yeah, give us something new every once in a while. I know. I read it. Gotcha.
Before you leave, Soul, can I get your input on what was your favorite part of the Greatest Royal Rumble? Like, what was your favorite match or whatever before you leave?
The entire show?
You thought the entire show was the best? Like, you don't have like a favorite moment? Yeah.
Are you expecting me to say Brock Lesnar winning?
I mean,
let me answer that first.
Before you say that,
if you want to, but you could try to be a little bit more original, since we know that's what you'll probably go to. So if you had to pick a second list,
if you were, I just want to know if you're
just generally going to go to.
I'm not going to just troll and go straight to Brock.
But I forgot to say that I know I said it in Discord, but you could clearly see 4 zip ties pop off the cage when they slow-moed the spear through the cage, and I was like, oh my god, really? You could, I mean, because you couldn't see it in fast motion, but once they hit that slow motion, I was like, oh my god, it's right there, and it's like right in front of his face. He's almost looking at it, almost.
The best moment was John Cena's speech after the match. It brought a tear to my eyes.
Yeah, I mean,
glad that John Cena could. Nah, I'm trolling. That's not my favorite moment. That was cool.
I was gonna say John Cena always puts on good promos. What are you talking about?
He is humble. He's
a humble person.
Really humble, and that was really cool of him to say. But I mean, I rolled my eyes at it, of course, because you can't love John Cena too much. Like, you gotta be a man. You gotta be fuck that guy. But I fucking love him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, favorite moment of the entire show. All right, let me get serious. I don't know. There wasn't really any, like you said, there was like no title changes, so there wasn't anything like big that happened. Like,
well, there was something really big that happened.
Oh,
and we've definitely missed this.
Oh wow, we skipped over it.
About Titus O'Neil.
Titus O'Neil tripping.
I was about to say it.
It was probably the greatest thing I've ever seen.
That's a rememberable moment. It's what I'm trying to say. What's a rememberable moment of the greatest Royal Rumble? Like, what would you remember? Like, that would be one of his. Titus O'Neil tripping and falling underneath the ring.
Sliding 1,000 feet down the ramp. He just kept going, and all the way. I mean, 1 foot was all that was left. I think that other foot even disappeared for a bit of a second.
Well, I'll bring up my memorable moment. If you don't want to. Rey Mysterio
performing.
He did give a lot of 619. He did a 619 to the everybody.
I think
much, right?
I don't think a lot of people would bring this up, but I think Mark Henry's performance was pretty great. Him to come back out for one more Rumble after retirement, and the thing with the sumo wrestler. And then he threw him over. Like, I thought it was pretty cool. Gave Mark Henry a little bit of a pop on TV. I like Mark Henry.
Julian says,
so you think I'm such Bobby Lashley's suplex, a big cast. That looked scary.
Yeah, that was pretty. That looked like he fucking killed him.
Julian says, "Whisper in the wind failure was memorable."
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, when Jeff Hardy did the Whisper in the Wind and hit the fucking mat, and then Jinder goes, like 3 seconds after Jeff's already hit the ground, he's like, oh, he hit me. Let me fall.
What I loved about the Greatest Royal Rumble is that they gave Daniel Bryan his opportunity, his spotlight.
So what, turn his chest into hamburger meat?
No, that he had a great comeback. He broke the record for being in.
How is that a record when it's almost twice as many people?
He put on a great performance though. It's not just that he breaks the record. He put on a great performance after missing 3 years of wrestling and just coming back like 2 weeks ago. And just coming back 2 weeks ago back into wrestling.
But he's coming back 2 weeks ago. You can say that, but he's probably been training the whole time he was injured. Whatever.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it's still, live performance. People can get live performance ring rust. You know what I'm saying? Being in front of a huge crowd like that, that's almost like WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, yeah, he did perform good at WrestleMania. But performing in a huge crowd with all those wrestlers coming in at once and actually keeping up with all that, that was great of him to do that. Like, he did a great job.
Primo had a pretty good little fail. Where he went for or was it Sin Cara?
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, it was Primo, where he went for he tried to bounce off the ropes and he completely missed, almost went through them.
Yeah,
they even said something about it. They're like, Primo almost eliminated himself.
Yeah.
That's why you don't go high risk.
Yeah.
Well, there were definitely some highlights and some good spots.
It was kind of cool how, like, the commentators were more laid back and chill too. Like, they were having fun.
Yeah,
like their reaction to Titus tripping. Like I don't feel like on an episode of Monday Night Raw they would have reacted that much.
That's why I thought it was scripted at first. That's why I was asking, do you think it was scripted? Because they reacted, they overreacted to
it.
On
that stuff, like when they show like the guy fall outside in the snow.
I think that the whole reason, like the whole thing about a lot of these matches were like cross-branded, and there was no title changes, and it wasn't really going along as strongly with current storylines. You know,
y'all don't remember that time JBL tripped and fell?
Yeah,
they showed it like 5 times that night.
Yeah,
I think it was more like laid back and relaxed for everyone.
It was
more like a casual show.
Relaxed. I don't think you can be relaxed when you're surrounded by an automatic weapon.
You say automatic weapons, but I couldn't spot an AK-47. You said there was a lot of AK-47s, but I didn't spot any. The fuck?
Were you not watching the kickoff show?
Oh no, I didn't watch the kickoff show.
If you watched the kickoff show, you could really see it because they were like right behind the booth, and you could see the guards and stuff like that. And then one time, this one Saudi Arabian guy just comes back there, and he's just standing there. He's not like showing off or doing anything.
Dude, that had me so nervous. I'm like, why is this guy just standing there? Like,
he's like, what's going on?
Talking about nervous, what was up with all those Saudi and Arabians just standing up and having their backs turned and walking back and forth? I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, my girlfriend pointed that out too. She's like, why did they all just stand up and turn around? I'm like, I don't know.
I was like, what is going on right now? I was like,
scared.
There
wasn't a prayer break. They did have a prayer break.
Oh, that's probably what it was. They were probably praying. Yeah, they're probably leading their family in prayer. Because those guys were actually the Saudi Arabian royal family. That's why the arena was set up the way it was.
I heard them say that.
So all those people with the royal family do prayer with their families.
All the guys are wearing like American diner tablecloths.
I want to bring up one more thing before I go, because I'm about to go for real.
Yeah,
I want to just add one more thing I've been wanting to say.
We're gonna end the stream soon. So.
I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but I honestly feel from every superstar in attendance for the Greatest Royal Rumble, I think that not Daniel Bryan, not John Cena, I think Randy Orton got a fucking humongous crowd reaction.
Randy Orton's always been one of the biggest draws.
Randy Orton is a big draw.
I mean, did you guys see that? Like,
Yeah, I saw it.
The crowd erupted for Randy Orton. I was like, holy shit. And like you said, he's one of those... He's a perfect another example, maybe, for your previous argument that it could have been like John versus Randy Orton instead of Triple H.
Of course.
That would have been a good time to plug that in.
Yeah, RKO
he's up there as well.
You might have helped that argument along your side a little better.
If I would have thought of that then.
And he probably would have
see, the thing is,
you got me there. Hold on, let me think.
There's a lot of arguments we can bring up. It's the thing is, when we get into the heat of the moment, we don't really think hard about it. Is what I mean. Is like, we bring up key factors about arguments, but the thing is, we can't really back it up because we're too much into it. Of the argument that it kind of sits in the back of our mind, and we forget about things. You know what I'm saying?
I think we just put two and two together now because you're trying to think of someone who was like a big pop that, you know, even people in Saudi Arabia would recognize, like,
speaking of
that caliber of wrestler.
Pop.
And I just remembered, you know, that I wanted to say that Randy Orton got such a big crowd reaction that it kind of just fits with both arguments.
You know? Yeah, a lot more people than I thought did the Walk with Elias chant.
Yeah, that's true. Same.
It was pretty loud.
Yeah,
but actually think that's
where did the Braun Strowman pop go when he won the title in the championship? I mean the trophy in the championship. What happened to that? That shit was dead. I think it's because he's such a new superstar.
No,
and
I think
we were bringing back about the foreign country probably not knowing much about him or don't really follow him.
I think they knew.
Even the big reaction. Even the big reaction for Randy Orton, you couldn't really hear the reaction.
I think it was because there was too much people and too much shit going on.
I think it's the audio.
Yeah.
I think something's wrong with the audio because even like backstage when they interviewed like Chris Jericho and Daniel Bryan stuff, you didn't hear the fans
you didn't hear any crowd reaction.
Yeah, like on Raw or SmackDown, you would hear the crowd like cheering whenever they were done talking.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
I think something was wrong with the audio.
What about that main camera? That main camera looked ugly in that aerial view. Oh, it's like that's. I think I think you're right about the setup for the audio and video because the main camera where it shows the whole pan of the ring and the wrestlers, no close up or anything. When it switched between the close up and the main camera, you can tell that it was bad quality, like not really bad quality of where it's not like really an HD picture, but there was like the colors were off and it just seemed a bit weird than the close-ups and whatnot. And the aerial view about the whole stadium, for the fireworks and shit, it was just bad. It was like
oh yeah, it looked like
it's all fucked up and like it was like 180p or some shit. I was like, what the hell are they using a drone, like a $60 drone to fucking show this fireworks? Like, come on, man. What the hell? That was crazy.
I did notice that.
Yeah, I think it was just an audio bug.
Yeah. Either way, the show was great. Greatest Royal Rumble. If they do it next year, most likely they will. Counting from what Sheep said, I hope it'll be as great as it was this year.
So you're saying the thing is there's supposed to be a Greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia for the next 10 years?
Yeah.
Well, they have a contract with WWE, a 10-year contract. I don't know exactly what it's for.
Greatest every pay-per-view.
Well, why would there be a title too? That's another thing I brought up in the
I think that's part of the 10-year thing. That title will transfer to whoever wins it the next year. The belt will go.
People said there was rumors about them changing the name of that title to the Middle Eastern title, like how they have the North American in the United States, and how they used to have it. The European. Somebody said that there's
that's probably gonna be a thing.
That there's been rumors and leaks of them changing the title name to the Middle Eastern Championship title.
Right, so, I really have to go now.
All right, man.
Oh, but we didn't talk about that one thing on the wrestling thing with the people wrestling about the thing where they did the move and saw them in for that part.
Yeah, I think we're about to end the stream as well because I don't really
say bye to everybody, man.
Soulamazin signing out, guys. We'll catch you next week, same time. Peace out, my boys. Street, Sheep, Ben.
Hopefully,
we're thinking
Ben.
About you. Hope you get better. Hope you're here next week.
Hashtag get better, Ben.
Yeah.
Hashtag get better, Ben. And I'm out.
Peace out, Soul. See you next week. So, I don't know if you really want to talk about any rumors. I don't know if you heard any rumors. I don't know if you heard anything other than the rumor I just said about renaming the Royal Rumble title. Was there anything?
Yeah, I hadn't really seen any big things that we didn't already cover, except for apparently Iran and the two guys, the Davari guys from Iran coming in and interrupting the Saudi Arabian people. Was apparently a jab at some political stuff that probably was kind of controversial and maybe shouldn't have been done. But I think they have some
Go on.
serious political stuff, war type stuff going on. So it might not have been the best place to do that, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
I get you. Let me just bring up Bleacher Report and see if I can find any rumors or anything about WWE, just so we can kind of fill that spot in, because I don't really want to end the stream without any rumors or anything.
Well, we didn't even cover NXT.
Oh yeah, we went over NXT. That's alright. It's kind of too late for that.
I know.
Yeah, I mean NXT didn't really play a big part in the Greatest Royal Rumble either, other than those appearances. So, but yeah, I'm seeing what you were saying about Sami Zayn, why he wasn't at the Rumble. Bleacher Report already put they had something up about that we were saying. Let's see here.
Oh, apparently. Not almost none of the buzzers were 90 seconds.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Sin Cara's was the closest at 1 minute and 31 seconds.
Damn, they weren't even on point with that.
Oh wait, Mojo Rawley had one at 1 minute and 30 seconds, so his was right. But some of them were over. Kurt Hawkins was 2 minutes between his buzzer. Great Khali's was 2 minutes 9 seconds.
Yeah,
Kevin Owens was 2 minutes 9 seconds.
we didn't talk about NXT. We totally forgot to go over that. We just went by Raw and SmackDown so quick and into the main
Yeah, I
thing
didn't want
here.
to
We
stop
forgot
because it
about it.
seemed like we were kind of getting behind the. I wanted to give us a good hour to talk about Royal Rumble anyway.
Yeah.
So. If anything had to go, it wasn't necessarily the greatest NXT I've ever seen. Usually it all builds up on NXT to the amazing takeover. So. Yeah, I'm not really finding anything crazy. No major news, nothing worth. Oh, what's Vince McMahon's reaction to Titus O'Neil's botch?
There's only a thing about Ronda Rousey breaking down during a report when she was talking about discussing about the end of her UFC career. So I guess that's not really that big. Something about John Cena saying my heart hurts for Nikki. I don't know what it's really about. 16 16-time WWE World Championship added, it's a tough time, but that's life. We all go through highs and we all go through lows. I'm gonna get through it. I love her. I always love her. The fact that my heart hurts for her, I know I was in love, so I'll always have that. So apparently they might get back together, but I guess they're just going through tough times. Do you see John Cena and Nikki going back together? Huh?
No. Well, maybe getting back together, but not in a marriage, just together, boyfriend and girlfriend. I don't see them getting engaged ever again. I don't think John Cena wants to be married.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Not in like a selfish kind of way, but more in a. I think he knows that he does too much to really. He's on the road too much. It's almost like being a soldier. You know, it's almost selfish to ask somebody to marry you because you're not going to be there most of the time. So it's a similar mentality to that. A lot of people think it's irresponsible to get married when you can't be there for the person that you're married to all the time. And I completely agree with that.
Soul has a point here. He's like, I think he should, in retirement, he'll get lonely. Oh, by the way, Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass is happening at Backlash. Goldberg spoke about Hulk Hogan's potential return. I guess Hulk Hogan had an interview.
Yeah,
He
I
said,
read that one. I do have something big here. Well, it's not big, but it's great. It's from No DQ News, NoDQ.com. According to Corey Jacobs of WrestlingNews.com, a source has indicated that it was Vince McMahon's decision to have Titus O'Neil's botched entrance at the Greatest Royal Rumble be replayed several times. WWE tends to avoid showcasing botches,
see, that's
especially if
why
it's
I
a top
brought it
talent.
up. That's
But
why I brought it
McMahon
up.
was apparently on the verge of tears and couldn't resist the replays being shown. McMahon reportedly shook Titus O'Neil's hand and gave him a pat on the back backstage.
See, that's why I brought it up, because they made it such a huge thing that I thought it was fake. Because usually when they have botches happening, they don't dwell on botches. They don't bring up botches or anything. But I guess that clears it up right there about how Vince McMahon was just in tears and thought it was hilarious and had them replay it back, like you said.
Yeah, that's great news to me. That's that little look back, because we were wondering, why they kept. And then apparently Vince McMahon loved it. So I'm right there. I think Titus deserves a push now. Watch Titus Worldwide will get a push now.
I'm reading something right now about Dean Ambrose update. Let me see. I'm just trying see if there's anything here. It says that he's in rehab, blah blah blah. He's working on his torn triceps, blah blah blah. We kind of know that. He was spotted. He was spotted apparently in the same city where Raw was last week, or this week I should say. So he was spotted like on the 23rd and the 24th. He was around. So they're saying that he would be out for 5 to 9 more months. So we could see him within, well, actually I should say, put it better. We could see him with back in the ring with between 5 and 9 more months is what they're saying. So maybe it could take a year for him to return. If we're lucky, we could see him in the next 5 months, which would be at the end of the year. So it's gonna be a long time till we see Dean Ambrose again, which is really sad because honestly, I keep forgetting about Dean Ambrose every time Raw and SmackDown is on, and I hate to forget about Dean Ambrose because he was a great wrestler. You know what I'm saying?
Still is. I like Dean Ambrose. I think when he comes back, it'll almost be a better
He deserves
thing
a big pop.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder. You know?
Yeah.
So maybe they'll have missed him. I mean, he was getting a little bit stale back when he was in there, and you know the Shield thing I didn't really care for anyway. So I think him really getting his chance to shine might be good, but I'm still worried that with everybody else on all the rosters, he's going to get lost in the shuffle. But what if he joined or even led or took over Sanity?
I don't know. That'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this, but I remember Raw where Bayley came out and she hugged somebody, and there was a person that wanted a
Cringe,
hug from her.
yes.
Yeah. I guess Bayley kind of gave her point on that. She kind of gave out a thing about apologizing about the cringe of, you know, that dude that wanted a
Yeah,
hug, and he was just
skipping
like,
the guy going for the hug,
yeah,
going straight for the little girl, and like
yeah,
the dude's like,
what the fuck?
back off, dude. You're not a little kid anyway.
Yeah.
Kind of makes him seem really sketchy, right?
Yep.
But
Yeah, they
yeah,
were saying that she apologized even though it wasn't necessary. She didn't have to apologize. Apparently, that's what they're saying. I mean, because they're going to the factor where you were just saying, you know, the kid is 12 years old and that dude is like at least fucking 20 or some shit like that. I don't know.
yeah.
I mean, I guess, yeah, they were saying how it fits her gimmick, that her apologizing, it fits her character. So, yeah. Yeah. There's nothing else here. Triple H and says he hopes that women will be able to compete in Saudi Arabia. Because you know you were saying they have this contract. He's hoping along the lines during that contract that Saudi Arabia will let WWE have these female competitors compete there. So I don't know. You think we'll see it? Female competitors in Saudi Arabia, whatever events they do.
Probably so.
I mean, hey, they took that big leap of land women drive there in Saudi Arabia. They weren't able to drive for like what 30 years or some shit.
Or ever, probably.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I think they probably definitely are starting to see the economical benefits to having a free society.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to miss out on all the fun shit. something's definitely going on with all this peace shit. North Korea, South Korea starting to shake hands and be friends, and now Saudi Arabia letting all this stuff in. I think they're all just being nice and playing nice so they can get in close and then shank us or something.
You heard it here first on That Wrasslin podcast. A little bit political. Political? What the fuck is that?
Going down. They're just pulling us in with a false sense of security.
Yeah. All right. I guess
They're
that's
like, no, guys, come on, it's all good. We'll be friends.
I guess they're gonna end the live stream here. It's been a good live stream. We got to talk about the greatest Royal Rumble. That was the main thing here on That Wrasslin podcast. We did kind of go a little bit into the dark side of Soulamazin, kind of hitting his emotions, and he probably got a little upset there. I'm sorry, Soul. Didn't mean to hit your emotions hard there.
No, I don't think it was all that. It never got all that serious. It's a podcast. We're here to debate how we feel about.
I'm just messing around. I'm just fucking around. But yeah,
these guys.
We all like to talk about wrestling, and that's why we have this podcast. Too bad Ben's been missing out. I mean, I really hope Ben does get better. Just want to clarify it again for the people that would actually listen to this part of the podcast, or that actually does listen to it. Who knows? I don't know. Benjamin Rivers, he is a member of the channel. If you go back and look at the podcast, you can see he's been there. He just missed out on last week's and this week because he's been in the hospital with an issue with his intestines. What is it called? His appendix.
Appendicitis. His appendix burst. So
his appendix burst.
So probably have that surgically removed. He probably had to have an appendectomy.
Yeah. So hopefully we can get him on next week. If not, it's all right. We understand. I mean, we respect our members here. We respect each other. We don't force each other to do anything. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, guys, we will catch you guys in the next weekend's podcast at the same time as always. Peace out, guys.